Thank you so much for checking out this video. If you're watching this later, it was a waiting room for the GTA 6 Netflix extended look, and they did officially announce we can do live reactions. That will be on this channel as a separate stream. But before big events, we like to hang out for a couple of hours, sometimes many hours, and just talk about our expectations while we wait for the event to happen. We may be checking out some new footage of Turok Origins here in a moment. They're sitting down at the Xbox booth at Gamescom, and we may check that out to pass the time. If you're watching this later, hit like and subscribe, and consider doing a membership to support me. That's how I do this full time, is direct viewer support. I'm going to end the previous stream and bring people over with redirect. Thank you guys so much for supporting that live stream, hanging out, watching the Xbox Gamescom stuff. So right now, they are sitting down at the Xbox booth and showing off some of the Turok gameplay, and we're going to check this out. And then I'm going to need to get my new chat. And thank you guys so much. We are broadcasting on YouTube and Twitch today, where we typically do our multi-streaming efforts. And I continue to think that Turok looks really good. It looks way more Doom adjacent than I expected. Let's listen in to see what they have to say here.
Just play, just pushing a button at any moment.
Amazing.
Nice.
There you go. And the best thing about moving between those as well is it's worth noting that these weapons look absolutely sick.
Yeah, the weapons
What
are so
kind of
cool.
weapons are we going to have in our...
Guys, make sure you are hitting the like button. It is a new stream.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, that's a fan favorite.
Oh, I know that one.
That's a fan
Oh,
favorite.
yeah.
We are
You had
bringing,
one of them done the other day, didn't you?
Shut up, Henry. What other weapons? Are there any other iconic
we are
ones?
bringing back a lot of weapons from the classics. I mean, Cerebral Boys one, but we also have the fusion cannon that the fans will recognize.
Yeah.
And,
Scorpion?
The Scorpion missile launcher.
Beautiful.
Mag 60, a lot of weapons from the past.
Cool.
Amazing.
But we also include
And it does look like they're going to let you play it in third or first person. They've shown both perspectives here. First person definitely has the Doom vibes, but with the mobility and wanting to dodge out of the way, third person might be nice as well. This did get quietly delayed to next year, though. This was supposed to be coming out this year, and it is now coming out next year.
I'll get over my fear.
Yeah, you get your revenge now.
I just need to murder more of them, and then I'm there. Fancy that.
But before that finisher, I also saw the player character kind of like went like this, and a bunch of spikes came out. So
yeah.
what's going on there?
those are the echo sims. Which is something that I mean, every character features a bio suit that allows him to extract resources from the environment and then synthesize in abilities that you can use at any time.
Cool.
That's
I
cool.
see. Okay.
Yeah, it really adds a different dynamic to the combat. It's not just guns and melee. You have all these cool abilities.
Nice.
Fascinating. And are there anything else aside from dinosaurs that we're going to be fighting?
Of course, not only dinosaurs, but something that is more terrifying, that are modified dinosaurs.
Oh, worst dinosaurs.
Yes.
Okay, maybe you should
No, I'm
stay
back-
scared.
I'm back out again.
Dinosaurs with rocket launchers.
Oh, for God's
Attached to the
sake.
backs.
What's wrong with you two?
So the Xenias that are our enemies.
Oh, I see. Okay.
These guys.
Those guys.
Oh,
These
okay,
guys.
right. Good to put a name to a face. They don't look good.
No.
That
They also-
sounds
Nice.
good.
They have their weapons, but they also transform certain dinosaurs to damages.
Oh,
Oh,
That was a cool
okay.
attack.
that's cool.
That was a cool
I
attack.
like
That was
that.
one of the echo sets.
Oh, nice. I also saw before we dropped into this area, there were like these bulbs, like plants that you could destroy, and it kind of opened up the environment. So did your team kind of work both the combat and the environment together to make a whole experience?
Yes, I mean, as you see, there are plants in different colors. Those plants just track the DNA, and with that you can get resources like shield,
Yeah.
ammo, or also resources to improve your gear as you progress in the progression system.
Cool.
We have a lot of weapons, but we have like 250 modifiers
Wow.
without those weapons.
This isn't Turok at all. How do you figure? I went back and played the original. I don't see how this is not a reimagining of what Turok could be. I see weapons, I see tribesmen trying to kill you that spawn out of nowhere, and I see dinosaurs. That's like literally what the first Turok has in it. I mean, I just played it like last year.
Stupid. There you go. Perfect. I can work.
Oh, that's a cool finisher.
Oh, that's
finisher, which is a very important part of the game.
Yeah.
The original games, they were really gory, but we have gone a step forward, and we have introduced like 200 unique finishers
No
that
way.
you can perform with different melee weapons like this that you see right now.
That's sick. I've also seen that the Xenia as well. There are different kind of I suppose enemy types for them as well, because some of them have like
Much more
guns.
tactical. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
but-
which adds a really good dynamic. You
Yeah.
have these crazy.
Yeah, and it still seems like a lot of the Turok content loop, right? Like trying to open up doors, trying to find keys, trying to take down barriers. Like that's very much what the original Turok was, the very first
And
one.
I gotta ask, what are primal forms as well when we come to Turok Origins? What do they do?
The primal forms are the classes,
Okay.
what you typically identify as a class, but in this game they are connected with the Native American culture, which is very important on the lore of the franchise. So every class.
Yeah, D-Tom, they officially announced I am allowed to stream it and react to it. We just can't do a straight-up re-stream or re-upload. It has to be transformative. So I will be just periodically pausing and adding my own commentary, but you will be able to watch the entire Netflix thing here on my channel when it airs. You do not have to watch it there. You don't have to sign up or anything like that. I'm not going to serve as a straight-up replacement, but I don't want to talk over it, so I'll periodically pause it so you don't miss anything.
The questions you're on. Absolutely, don't be that as. Honest to God.
Okay, what's going
Yeah,
on
what's
here?
this?
Can I just say also, the game looks beautiful.
Oh my goodness.
I
Yeah.
love the foliage, the density. It looks so cool.
What this guy got was we call the essence of his class. That is kind of ultimate ability that is also related to the class.
Cool.
Yes, which happens. So one of your early missions is you have to prove.
I think the only thing that doesn't look good is the third person. I think the movement looks a little bit stiff. Like, it's not bad when he's shooting. It's just some of the movement. Like, the animations and stuff for the executions looks pretty dope, and his dodge looks dope. There's just a few of the third person stuff looks a little bit stiff. But I don't think that's that big of a deal, considering it is primarily like a first person game historically.
Here it comes. Okay, but that's not a normal dinosaur.
No,
That's
absolutely not.
That's got a lot of extra accessories going on. What?
Massive W for streamers. My assumption is that the GTA 6 extended look, like trying to logistically stop people from uploading, streaming, blah, 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 it was probably going to be a nightmare. Like, are you going to try to stop it for 6 hours? Like, does YouTube even want to have to mess with that? Like, uploading it and having 6 hours of content ID matching and blocks and everything else. I just continue to think that would have been a very, very difficult thing to do. So, yeah.
This is let's say one of the biggest.
Oh,
We
okay.
have- We have mini bosses and we have medium bosses.
Okay. Hopefully they don't get much bigger than
Yeah,
that for
I'll
your
find
sake.
like a Goldilocks situation of which mini boss I'm comfortable with.
Well, here's the thing. Maybe you and I mean, I'm guessing there's multiplayer as well, of course. So maybe Charlie and I can help each other out.
Yeah.
Get her over her fear of dinosaurs, right?
I'll look at all the plants and
Yep.
you shoot all the dinosaurs.
So one of the great things that the team has done with Turok is you can play it solo, offline, by yourself. If you're like me, you have no
Yeah.
friends, you can play by
No,
yourself.
Tim might play with you.
Hey.
Come
But
on
but
now.
if you're like Jesus and you have some friends, you can play with one friend, with two friends. It's the
Love
same
it.
game, and but we just want to give players that option.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And I
That's
think
great.
Oh, yeah, I definitely had the black cartridge. I had all the Turok games back in the day. I loved them.
fans of the Turok franchise.
I love the PvP. We played the 4-player PvP so much. The only problem with PvP back then is we had to outlaw the use of the grenade because it made everybody's screen flash.
Bosses are loyal to the original games. When you play solo, you play a campaign solo mode. You
Okay,
don't
yeah.
play with bots.
Yep.
And when you play co-op, you play with friends, but the experiences are different. Each one has been tailored to be perfect on his own.
Yes, that's important to say. Yes.
Yeah,
Well done,
yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah,
So
love
the
that.
so some of the things that we mentioned earlier that original Turok fans will enjoy is like weapons, like the cerebral bore, and there's some other, I don't want to give it away, but some other Easter eggs and some other fun connections to the lore for the hardcore fans.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay then. Well, I think. Oh, go on.
An important thing is that you can play solo offline, disconnected.
Yes.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Love
When the
that.
Wi-Fi goes down in my house,
Yeah.
I'm good. I got Turok. I'm
Still
good.
going. Absolutely no problems. Well, thank you so much for joining us, guys.
Thank you,
This has
guys.
been a fascinating week, and I know it's a really, really busy Gamescom for you. So thank you for spending some time with us.
Yes. Thanks for having
Thank
us.
you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Right, well, you can wish list Turok Origins now, and if you're here at Gamescom, swing by the Xbox booth for a chance to play the game. But up next, we're jumping into the fantasy sandbox that is Albion Online. The newest expansion is upon us, and we're celebrating with a cheeky little walkthrough of new gameplay. Henry, let's take a look.
If you guys are enjoying the show, make sure and hit the like button. Sorry about that. I will try to delay the ads as much as I can, especially once the actual GTA 6 event is going on. We are doing a bit of a waiting room for the GTA 6 extended look. You can watch it here with me. You do not have to have a subscription. You don't have to go to Netflix. If you feel like watching it here with us, we are allowed to stream it. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you hit the like button. Get us to 100 likes. We're watching the tail end of Gamescom Day 2 with Xbox, and they're just showing off various games to pass the time. Turok Friday Night with Madam, oh for sure.
We match to compete.
I don't know if we have a good game for this week's stretch goal with Madam. We actually may not even have a Saturday stream at this current juncture. We're a little behind pace. Sometimes live events really slow everything down. People are a little less likely to go crazy with gifteds and do trains when we're watching events like this. So don't forget to celebrate your renewals and your primes. Those do add up, and they do add to the total. The Saturday evening stream with Madam is like a weekly incentive. It's an extra stream that we do when we hit the goal.
Isn't easy, but the rewards are worth it. Among the regular loot, you can also find a new kind of map, activating which will lead your party of 20 players into an entirely new raid dungeon, battling numerous Keeper and Ashborn enemies, and finally, make it into the lair. Here, the biggest and most difficult PvE challenge in Albion awaits your group. Will you make it past fire and brimstone to secure the ultimate reward?
Dragon Fire.
Back in May, we gave you an in-depth look at the world, the characters, and the story of this very next title. Stranger Than Heaven is a brand new action-adventure game coming January 15th, 2027 from RGG Studio, who are renowned for their ability to craft deeply human stories with thrilling action and some pretty juicy combat. A big thank you, though, to producer Hiroyuki Sakamoto and interpreter Mai Hapsh, who are joining me for a live gameplay presentation, but also to tell us all about this very ambitious title. First, though, Sakamoto-san, can you give us an overview of Stranger Than Heaven?
では続いてはストレンジャーザンハブのライムゲームプレイです。本作はスリリングなアクションとコンバット、そして人間ドラマを描くことで知られる RGG スタジオが送る完全新作のアクションアドベンチャーゲームです。リリースは2027年1月15日の予定です。本日は本作について語っていただくためにプロデューサーの坂本博之さんと通訳のラプシュ舞さんにお越しいただきました。まずは坂本さん、ゲームの概要を教えていただけますか？
はい。ストレンジャーザンヘブンは、日本人とアメリカ人の、血を引く大東誠という男の物語になっています。で、1900年初頭のですね、アメリカで、差別を受けてですね、身寄りのない大東誠が日本に渡って、新たな、居場所を求めて、旅するところから、この物語が
No, they've not shown any State of Decay 3. They did some kind of formal announcement that, like, State of Decay 3 is still coming to Game Pass, though.
すごくそこでも生きていくことがすごい苦しい、環境の中、それでもこうがむしゃらに生きていって、いろんなこの大東誠が持つこの歌を使ったこう工業室
Hopefully she can remember this entire answer, bro.
こう積み重なってですね、約50年にわたるこの人生を描いたゲームがこのストレンジャーザンヘブンになります。
Thank you. Stranger Than Heaven follows the story of the protagonist Makoto Daito. He's an outcast of mixed origins, of Japanese and American origins, and he's faced with discrimination in the early 1900s US. He has no family to rely on, and he flees to Japan because he hopes to find a place to belong there in Japan. But he finds himself having to use extreme violence to survive. And on the other hand, he discovers his musical talent to thrive. And you will be able to show this aspect of the show as well. And his whole life spanning across 5 immersive cities and 50,000 years of Japanese history between 1915 and 1965.
Wow, it sounds like a really quite enthralling and captivating story to be able.
Ain't no way she remembered all that. They have scripts that they're going off of, probably for their different audiences, so that they just cover all their bases, both English and non-English speaking.
Have the chance to take people back to an era like 1915 and other mid-century eras. How did that influence as well the combat design of Stranger Than Heaven?
すごく面白いセッティングですね。RGG スタジオの過去作が現代をとてもリアルに描くことでも有名ですけれども、今回は1915年という歴史を遡って、プレイヤーを、過去に連れていくという体験がされましたけれども、これは、コンバットデザインにもどんなような影響を与えましたか？
まず、正直、ここまで5つの時代と5つの都市で、50年の歴史をゲームの中に作るっていうのは、本当に、大変だったんですけれども、しっかりリサーチだったりとか、いろんな歴史観を本当に体験してもらうために、いろんなリサーチを重ねながら、このゲームを積み上げたみたいなところがあるんですけれども、やっぱり、これぐらいのスケールのゲームってなかなかないと思うので、この舞台を選んだ、この時代を描いたっていったところは、すごい大きなスケールのゲームになるっていったところにすごく興奮したことをまず覚えています。で、コンバットデザインもですね、やっぱりこの主人公が
Thank you, Sora, for the $2 super chat tip. Stranger Than Heaven looks dope. Agreed.
主人公の大東誠とシンクロするような、なんかそういう体験をちょっと味わってほしいなと思って、本当に一から作り上げたんですけれども、主人公が年取るに従って、プレイヤーが例えば
Question about GTA 6 here from Sparky. He says, if we don't get any word on frame rate today at and it's all 30 FPS footage, will you lose a little hope that we'll be getting a performance mode? If according to what we've heard, everything that we're going to see has been captured on the base PS5, and there were many people that got hands-on. Well, maybe not many. There was a handful of people that got hands-on. I'm assuming that they're going to speak to it. Maybe the people that got hands-on will speak to it, is what I mean. If everything today is very clearly 30 FPS and they say nothing about it, I would assume at the very least that's just how the game's going to launch. I continue to think that they're working on a performance mode. I don't think they did all the work they did with Red Dead 1, GTA 5, and then we know that the Red Dead 2 update exists. We have it on very good authority from multiple sources that update does indeed exist. I don't think you would go back and do that to all of your old games if you were planning on releasing a game that didn't even attempt to have a performance mode. That does not mean, and what I am not saying is, I am not saying it's going to be rock solid 60 and that we're going to get 60 day one and all these other things. I just think there is an effort at the company to do it. That doesn't mean it's there at launch, and that certainly doesn't mean that they're able to do it in a good way. I continue to think it would be very strange for them to make not even a single effort to hit 60 FPS. So I don't know if they'll speak to it and say, hey, we have a performance mode that we're working on. We hope it's ready for launch. If it's not ready for launch, we'll let you know, ETA, blah, blah, blah. That's been my position for a while, that I don't think it's off the table. I think a lot of people were just acting like it was an impossibility and there was no way they were even going to try to do it. And I just don't think that's realistic in 2026. I also think it's weird to just expect this company to shrug at such a significant topic and make no effort. Has anyone seen any of the streamers lately that act like they have someone hiding in their closet with a laser on their head? I want to guess which content creators. There's a list on Twitter. It's like 5 or 6 people confirmed that have indeed been to Rockstar to play the game with hands-on. They will be able to talk about that today as soon as the Netflix thing goes live. So they'll be able to discuss their hands-on experience. My hope again would be that when they were there, they broached the subject and they just asked, is there an effort being made here for a performance mode, 60 FPS? What are you doing anything specifically for the PS5 Pro? Things of that nature. Why does it seem that it's been so hard for 60 FPS to be the standard? In 2026, I would think that should be a base standard across the board. The issue specific to GTA 6, and I am going to go ahead and pause the ads here, so if you guys appreciate that I'm doing that for you and not interrupting the show on YouTube specifically, hit that like button and consider supporting directly, because I am foregoing those to make it better for you. And if you appreciate that and you like that, you can consider supporting the channel. And you can also just hit like and subscribe. That's a free way to support. So my position has just continued to be that, and the real issue with the 60 FPS is like, oh, I cannot believe they're not doing 60 FPS in 2026. The issue that specifically is a problem for anything done by Rockstar, especially GTA 6 in particular, is the density of the city. And what that ends up doing is it ends up putting a lot of things through the bottleneck of the CPU. The CPU on the Series X and the PS5 are perfectly fine. Plenty of games have done, just fine in this regard. NPC density is a unique challenge because all those NPCs have to be able to do whatever that is they're supposed to do. Now, a good example of this would be Dragon's Dogma 2. Dragon's Dogma 2, anytime you went to town, the frame rate was horrible. And primarily, it was because all of the NPCs were thinking. I'm not making that up. That's literally the reason they discovered. It was like you would go to town and every NPC in the town would be thinking, and it would make the frame rate plummet. Well, that's just sort of a window into what happens to your game's performance when the CPU has a lot of things being thrown at it. And GTA 6 is certainly going to be throwing an awful lot of things at the CPU with NPC density and a living reactive world. We just learned from the Dazed magazine interview that GTA 6 is going to be a highly reactive world, and that highly reactive world is going to be very emergent and organic, responding to you. You pull out a gun, you wreck your car, you slack somebody. These are all things that they want to be living and breathing and reactive. Well, what that ends up doing is it puts a lot of strain on the CPU itself, and you're going to sacrifice certain elements of performance. The lighting and the reflections are also, it's pretty clear that there's a lot going on with respect to lighting and reflections. And so that can also make performance a difficulty. Again, I'm hoping that they came up with some method of either toning down the lighting, the reflections, or containing the NPC's reactability. Like, you don't need an NPC all the way on the other side of the city reacting to your car accident. If they're able to do sort of instances where a certain amount of square mileage around you reacts to the things that happen, and that somehow is able to then contain and then subsequently give good performance. I would obviously hope that they did something like that or had some type of a breakthrough so that that is not something that they feel they have to sacrifice, because they definitely want to have that reactive city. We don't want to see that sacrificed. But we also don't want to see performance just being absolutely terrible just so a cop can show up in an emergent way when you wreck your car. So your brain adjusts to 30 FPS very quickly and becomes unnoticeable. Yeah, I just do not agree with that. I number one, I don't think that that's true. That's going to be subjective to the, person by person. And after all these years of playing at 60, I do not adjust to 30. My wife and I played Batman, the Lego game, split screen, and it was 30, and it was always noticeable. It never went away. I never really adjusted. It was tolerable because it was a vertical co-op split screen, so I couldn't see as much of the screen, and it was a Lego game, so it was still noticeable the entire time. I never stopped noticing it. I never thought it was fine. I always was like, man, I really wish this was 60 all of the time. So 30 FPS isn't bad if you're used to it, but if you're playing games at mostly 60 or above, yeah, which is so many of us are so used to it. When I play Bloodborne, it's very jarring at first. After an hour of playing, I don't even notice it anymore. Yeah, and that would be subjective to you. That's perfectly fine. If you basically stop noticing it after a while, that's great. I don't think everybody is going to have that same experience, especially if you're constantly going from other games. You're putting down other games that are running perfectly fine at 60, running very solid 60 FPS modes. I remember going from Death Stranding 2 and then I booted up Black Myth Wukong to see if it had been fixed, and it was just noticeable. When you go from a very optimized, very smooth 60 FPS performance to something that is not in that category, it is very, very noticeable. And, you know, getting over it after a while and you know, being able to not really be bothered by it. I mean, that's great. That's great. But I don't think a lot of people are in that category. I think it's going to be, you know, a pretty consistent and noticeable thing. And again, my hope would be that they're working on it. If it's not there at launch, so be it. If it's something that, you know, they're not able to kind of promise or polish for launch, okay, it's a huge game. It's a pretty ambitious endeavor, you know, and I get that. But my hope would be that they are working on it to some degree. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's like a be-all, end-all for them, you know, that it simply must be there. I, again, think they went into their old games, GTA 5 and Red Dead 1. I think they did all that because they were experimenting. I think they were trying to find, like, hey, can we make adjustments? Can we find headroom in the CPU to achieve higher frames per second? They somehow figured it out in Red Dead 1 and GTA 5, and I think those could have been experiments to figure out how they're going to do it in GTA 6. I think it's ridiculous, like you say, in 2026. My laptop got it in 2020 run. It runs 144. Why don't games run that? Only 30. Again, it just comes down to how the game is built. It's not necessarily the processing power of the device. It's not like a huge indictment of the Xbox or the PlayStation if games come out and don't have 60 or they have performance issues. Sometimes that comes down to literally how the game has been built and decisions that they made. You know, it's very, very clear when a game like Jedi Survivor or Redfall and Starfield and Plague Tale Requiem, they all can get updated and do 60 FPS perfectly fine later. That just goes to show you that it is possible. A lot of the times it just comes down to how the game is built. Maybe they did it for Red Dead 2 to get into GTA 6. It uses the same Rage 2 engine. Yes, we have it on very good authority from sources in the know that there is a Red Dead Redemption 2 next-gen update coming that will feature, you know, a 60 FPS update, since Red Dead 2 famously did not have that. And so, again, I think that they were doing that to experiment. I don't think the runway to GTA 6... I don't think you have teams of people messing around in GTA 5, Red Dead 1, and Red Dead 2 doing 60 FPS updates. I don't think you do that on the runway to GTA 6 unless it was in service of GTA 6. They've got a lot of work to be done. It's a very, very large project, and I don't think you would have people doing that unless it was serving some bigger purpose. Lono, I believe this was smart by Rockstar by allowing creators to do this. It swamps the algorithm because people will see great stuff. Yeah, exactly. Like, and again, I think it was going to be a logistical nightmare to try to stop people from posting. Like 6 hours of babysitting every single video platform. I mean, it's going to be hard enough just to stop people from doing straight up, you know, re-uploads, because people are certainly going to do that. No, we do not have a release date for Turok Origins. I think it said spring of 2027. It was supposed to be fall of this year. I kept telling people I did not think that was going to happen. There were just too many games coming out, and it did not seem like we had seen enough of the game for me to feel like it was like ready to go in the hopper. It seemed like it probably still had some work to do, and so it did end up getting quietly delayed. Which, again, it did not surprise me. I kind of anticipated that. Again, they just kept saying fall of 2026. I think there's a lot of games that say fall of 2026. I'm sorry, they just say 2026, and they don't have release dates just yet. And I think a lot of those games are going to end up, they're going to end up not landing in 2026. That would be my expectation. There's just too many games that right now, like there's not much time left in the year for them to nail down a release date. Especially if you're going to try to land in like mid to late October, in November, or after. You're going to be going to war with like one of the biggest games to ever launch, and you know the marketing will alone be eclipsing and difficult to go to battle with. So people are going to leave December empty. It's very possible that December becomes very vacant, just because it's just going to be so hard to get people's attention. Like every trailer, every announcement, every gameplay reveal, every purchase of the game is taking, people's attention away. So I really liked the look of this game. I'm not sure how I feel about these fights. These fights seem to be taking an extremely long time. There were multiple multi-target fights where there were lots of enemies, and it seemed to take like forever to get some of these guys like white circle meter down above their head. I did not realize it was going to be that kind of a game. It seems to be a little stretched out. No Rest for the Wicked said October, but we still don't have a release date. I think it might get pushed. It's a bit jank looking. I don't know if it's jank. It just looks like it takes an eternity to beat somebody. I did not know that was the kind of game that this was going to be. I mean, right there, that guy just did a combo and absolutely chunked the circle for the main player, like down in the corner. And I don't know if we've seen anything hit the enemy that hard. Like, even right there, that was a really good combo, and it didn't come close. Oh, it looks like his meter is filling, so maybe he did heal. A streamer I follow got to play this game in advance a few months back. He criticized the combat and gave feedback. Hope they listened. What was his criticism of the feedback? Like, it looks like it just takes forever. Looks like a boss fight. There was a group fight earlier, though, and it felt like the fight just took an eternity. There was the big bald guy with the knife, and then there were little guys around him. And it just looked like it took such a long time. Oh, he missed his kick. Yeah, this is definitely a boss, even though there's no health bar on the top or the bottom, because they did show, I think, a boss fight earlier that had that. At least I feel like I remember seeing that. Even the one group fight, though, like I said, it was just a big bald guy with a knife. It seemed like it's very slow and it didn't feel responsive. Okay. How high should we turn the saturation? All the way up, apparently. That homie has a sliver of health, and he was just on top of him, wailing on him with a machete. I don't know why. The Star Wars game looks good. Looking forward to it. I cannot believe how much I'm looking forward to Star Wars Galactic Racer. I've never been a big fan of racing games, and that game, every time I've seen it and they've gone into more detail about it, it's climbed my anticipated list. So, eligible U.S. creators will now be able to tag Amazon products in their shorts, long-form videos, and live streams, making it even easier for viewers. Well, that's really helpful when we're like talking about a game. We could put the game Amazon link there for people that still want to buy like physical versions of games. It would be great if they could allow us to do that for like digital versions of PlayStation games or Steam games anytime we're covering those types of things. This doesn't play like the other Yakuza, so they'd be disappointed to find that the other games are more beat-em-up style or turn-based. I love the stylization of the game and the feel and the vibe of the game. I felt like every fight they showed today, boss fight or not, they just took forever. And it's like, that was my one criticism of Final Fantasy 16. Like, near the end, boss fights taking 30 to 40 minutes. I just don't know if I agree with that as a smart game design choice. Like, I don't know if I need to be in a fight, that long. It starts to I don't know. It starts to feel kind of silly, personally, but to each their own. I definitely felt that way in FF16 near the end. It was like, okay, the boss fights don't need to last this long, y'all. I don't know if this is the last interview or not for Xbox Gamescom. I'll go full screen here and just kind of introduce myself to everybody. If you're new here and you've never been here before, we do daily live shows. I try to keep it safe for work. Obviously can't keep it safe for work when we're covering live events because the trailers could have language. The GTA 6 event will likely have language. So just fair warning to people. We are able to live stream and react to the GTA 6 extended look on Netflix. They specified that today. I just can't straight up restream or re-upload. I have to do transformative work. So I will periodically pause it and give my own commentary so it's as transformative as possible. I don't even want to take a risk of it being like a full run through of it with marginal interruption, that could be a big risk. They could deem that as like a replacement or just like a straight restream. So we're going to be very careful with that. If you're enjoying the content and the vibes, hit subscribe. That lets you talk in the chat. Hit like. That helps the video. And you can watch it here with us. Did you show gameplay? I mean, I can't show gameplay because the event hasn't happened yet. I can put a timer up, though. Let's do that. GTA 6 extended look. It's today, the 27th at 3 p.m. Set, start, and show timer. There you go. That's how long you have to wait for the event, and you can watch it here. Okay, I'm here. We can start the Netflixing now. Thank you very much for being here. I don't have the ability to push it live earlier. Stephen Totillo got locked out of his X account because of an absurd DMCA notice filed by an agency working for Take-Two protecting the GTA brand. My post showed publicly available court orders, no leaks. They went after GameSpot and Grok too. Oh, well, they're really overreaching, aren't they? I really enjoy watching your live streams. It will only be a couple more months till GTA 6. The wait's almost over. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. If you guys enjoy the daily shows, whenever we do co-streams like this and we watch things together, I pause the ads as much as I can on YouTube. If you appreciate that, hit that like button, show some appreciation and support. That does help me out. You also can support directly with super chats and memberships. That is greatly appreciated. I really enjoy hearing Lono's thoughts anyway on stuff. He's helped me make a lot of good decisions on games in the past regarding purchases. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm going to watch it first, hop back on YouTube later. No problem. Yeah, you can watch my reaction after the fact. Do it in the way that you think is best. It's your experience to be had. It's a big cultural moment today. And you can share in that moment with us, or you can watch it on your own and then show up later and kind of get my thoughts and reactions. We'll obviously rewatch it multiple times, I'm sure, from 3 to 4. We have it on good authority. It's like 26 minutes. It looks like the Xbox Gamescom day is coming to a close a little later than I expected. They were probably running a little behind schedule. That is common for these events. And looks like they're talking about Xbox Game Pass games that are coming as a closeout to it. CD Projekt Red is providing a separate overview of the Switch 2 edition of Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Remastered tomorrow at Gamescom. Okay, well, there you go. Great reason to get back into The Witcher when it comes out remastered, end of next month, I believe. Free updates to anybody who owns the game. DLCs will be free as well. You can actually download the DLCs for free now, but if you want to play them with the update, you're going to have to wait until the end of September. Okay, yep, that does it for Xbox Gamescom Day 2. So now we are officially just waiting for the GTA 6 extended look, which I should probably get into Netflix, get myself logged in here, so that way I don't have to worry about that, because they're probably going to be getting inundated. They're going to be getting absolutely inundated with stuff today. People trying to log in and get ready to watch the big main event. There we go. I am going to go ahead and delay the ads one more time. So they have an extended look trailer here on the on their page already. This is the one that hit YouTube. So we are locked and ready to go here. You're not going to be able to show it? Yes, I am going to be able to watch it. They officially announced that today. You will be able to watch the GTA 6 extended look with me when it happens. They specified that today. We just can't do a straight up restream or a re-upload. That is not allowed. That is not allowed. So the this event here on Netflix, I am 100% allowed to show you this and watch it with you. I just can't do a straight up restream or re-upload, so I'm going to have to pause it and make my own commentary so it's transformative, but that means we can watch it together instead of waiting. So my assumption is that it would have been an absolute logistical nightmare to stop people from doing it, so they're like, let them do it, it'll be transformative. It just would have been a nightmare. Thank you so much. Your typical Mexican for renewing your membership, renewing your Prime on Twitch, 21 months. Do you think they'll shadow drop GTA 7 after GTA 6? Oh, yeah, for sure. They definitely have both games ready to go back to back. Totally kidding, obviously. Yeah, Rockstar 100% confirmed this on Twitter. Yeah. You know, it actually is kind of strange to not care at all about GTA in any way. I could honestly give a crap. I'm just here for the talks. Well, I don't expect everybody to care about the game to the same degree as everybody else, right? There's a spectrum of care. There's people that are probably extremely excited. There's people that are probably, very minimally excited, and then there's everything in between. So there's those of you that are just like, yeah, not at all interested. And then there's people that are like, going to every corner of the internet looking for information. It's totally understandable. I hope 6 stars brings the army and not the SWAT. Yeah, I mean, it looks to me like they're going for realism. Looks like they're going for realism. So I don't know if they're going to go that high level of extreme response when you hit like a 6 star. Haven't seen it mentioned much, but won't a lot of the fans hate that it's only single player for now rather than multiplayer? Well, yes, obviously GTA Online fans are going to be a little like, hey, I really wish that there was online available at launch. And Rissick with the gifted, getting us to 239. Thank you, Mr. Rissick. Guys, if you're unfamiliar with my content, every 25 members, I gift one back. So thank you so much for everybody that continues to renew and gift. That is how I'm able to do this full time. We are a fairly small channel, and we are able to do this because of your generosity and direct support. And there's another one from Rissick, getting us to 240. When we hit the weekly goal of 500, I do a Saturday evening stream with my wife, and it usually is a very fun time. So you can help contribute to that with a gifted, with your own membership, Prime, or just your renewals. Rissick with another one gets us to 241. Thank you, Rissick. I'm curious what they're going to say about the GTA Plus subscription when we can't even play online service yet. That is why I thought that they would be launching GTA 6 online in December. Why else would you give people a month? Why would you give people a month? You know what I mean? It's like if you're giving people a month, you're obviously wanting them to use that. Well, how are you going to use that if you're, playing single player game? I also think it'd be cool if the actual story had an online co-op component, because the way they describe the way you can kind of like switch between the characters sounds pretty dope. It would also be pretty cool if you could play through the game with another person, because the way they're talking about like getting away and stuff in the car, it sounds like it could be pretty awesome to play with another person. And a $10 super chat from the OA. Like I said yesterday, the final proof that the leaker doesn't have a build is that we saw none of the new mechanics, not even for a second on his videos. There's too many new mechanics for that to not show up. I continued to say that I did not believe he had a full build. I got a lot of pushback. There were people claiming it was a PC build. I still think that made no sense. I think that was just people trying to be provocative. I don't know why you would think it was a PC build this close to launch. Number one, it was running at 30 to 40 FPS. I feel like if it was on a PC, it'd be running at, higher FPS. Also, as you're saying, I felt like they were canned recordings from someone's testing. I felt like they were always the same length. They were always the same vibe, sort of testing features in the game, like shooting hoops, robbing stores, driving around, things like that. It did not feel like somebody had a full build. There's all these features and all these elements of the game that just weren't showing up and weren't being shown off. He never went in and did anything outside of shooting his name into the wall. That could have been anything. That could have been a super small slice of a test where, he shot his name into the wall. It also could have been a total fake, given that footage was super short and like it cuts in and out. All other footage seemed to be legitimate footage of somebody testing something. You know, testing a feature, testing a drive, testing a thing. It did not at all seem like somebody had a full build. So a lot of those claims about it being a PC build or being a build of the game, like other claims we've seen that are just made up, they ended up being not true. I think it's very clear after the Dazed interview, this individual got his hands on some videos and just continued to put those videos out to draw attention to himself while promoting his crypto. And obviously, that is all kind of coming crashing down today. Well, the wall shooting also was not watermarked. Yeah, it wasn't watermarked. I'm telling you, it was something different. It was something different. And I feel like people bought into it and started pushing the narrative that it was like a PC build or a full build of the game. And listen, I said, when they said they had the dev kit and that one screenshot popped up, I said, listen, if they've got a dev kit, then the game has changed. I think Rockstar should just start marketing the game to take the power away. It turns out they didn't have a full dev kit either. That also ended up being not true. The Game Store one is pretty bang on, though, with his message. I 100% think he was playing the game. It was not videos. No, I think you're completely wrong. I don't think there's been a single ounce of evidence that he was playing the game. All the videos were almost the exact same length and the exact same vibe. It was like just somebody flying a plane very slowly for 2 minutes. Somebody going store to store, robbing the clerk and robbing the cash register. It was always the same thing. It was like, oh, they're repeating an action, right? Getting in a car accident, getting in a fight, things like that. So there was no concrete evidence that he was able to boot up and play the game. There just wasn't. He didn't do anything outside of the one shooting thing. If he had the game, he would have done way more. He would have done way more than he did. He would have loaded up missions. He would have talked to NPCs. He would have shown the switching between Jason and Lucia, you know. He shot his name in a wall, though. Yeah, I've addressed that 8 times. I feel like you're not listening if you didn't hear how I addressed that and how others have addressed that. It wasn't watermarked. It was a quick edit. It did not seem like the other clips. The other clips were watermarked, lengthy, and not edited. The shooting of the wall was not the same type of footage. What about the prologue clip from yesterday, though? Yeah, those are just cinematics. Those are just video files. Like I said, I think he got his hands on video files. I don't know what the shooting of the wall thing was, but he never went beyond that. He never loaded up the game and did anything. He wasn't like, yep, here's the game, here's the menu, here's the UI, here's me doing a mission, here's me interacting with an NPC. It's like, come on, man. Like, he never did any of that. It wasn't only cinematic. He was walking around. Let me guess, was it roughly 2 minutes in length? I bet you it was. Like, every single leak was the exact same. It was like 2 minutes and change in length, and it was like clearly some recording from some guy's computer. It was for. I guarantee you he does nothing in the footage to prove that it's him in the game doing whatever he wants. Guaranteed. Haven't seen it, and I'd bet cash money that prologue does not definitively prove that he's able to do whatever he wants and load up the full game. It's probably another recording from some tester's computer that he clearly got access to. He went for a whole week and never once definitively proved he had the game and could boot it up and do stuff in it. It was always canned footage, and he was asking for crypto to be like, oh, do you want to see the strip club? Do you want to see the driving, or do you want to see the plane? What was he doing? He was looking at video files that he had, and he was having people vote on what he could show. Come on. If he had full access to the game, he would have made it crystal clear. He never did that. And now he's fresh out of relevancy and nobody cares. You know what I mean? If you could boot up the entire game of GTA 6, I don't think you would fly a plane slowly for 2 minutes. I don't think you would drive from one convenience store to another and do the exact same thing, rob the cash register. I don't think you would do that. You would go in and do all sorts of stuff. The Game Store one, he goes into a GameStop and he zooms into posters that say trade in. The game cases on the shelves, matching his message to digital and equals bad. Maybe not full game, but a test build. It could have been little slices to test certain things out. What I'm saying is he didn't have the full game. He didn't have a full build because there were so many limitations on what he showed. If all the content that to me felt like someone getting all their raw footage and B-roll related to marketing plans, like the extended look, without any of the final presentation context and audio that completes the package, It could have been that as well. I still think it looked like somebody's laptop or hard drive that had testing footage on it. That's what it felt like to me. That's what it felt like. It felt like somebody was going into the game to test certain things out, and they would intentionally record footage to be like, okay, this is decent B-roll to show what robbing a convenience store looks like. This is decent B-roll to show that you can shoot hoops and get stats or what have you. I thought that he had slices, not a full build, because I doubt Rockstar has full build readily available. I think that's a reasonable guess as well. I don't think that's an unreasonable guess to be like, oh, he had slices. Some homie with a laptop for testing didn't have the entire dadgum game of GTA 6 just sitting on his hard drive. That would be absurd. That's why when people said it's a PC build, I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Why would there be a PC build of the game just sitting on somebody's hard drive somewhere? Now, maybe they were PC testing slices because they're getting ready to start working on the PC port. But even then, that feels odd to do this far out from release. I feel like all hands on deck for console release makes more sense than working on the PC build of the game, because that's of the utmost importance. Like, everybody's going to be putting their work and their weight and their bandwidth behind the full release of the game in November. Again, that's my own personal opinion. I don't think it makes much sense in the timeline. Like, the game was supposed to come out in May. It gets delayed to November. And I'm supposed to believe that 2 months after the original release date, they're working on the PC build. That doesn't make sense to me logistically or from a bandwidth perspective. I'm open to being wrong on this. Like, maybe they assigned a small team to start working on it, and maybe that's why this guy was able to crack in, because that team maybe was less secure. Who knows? I don't know, Luno. If I had the game earlier than launch, all my videos would be with Lucille. Lucia, not Lucille. It's not the bat from The Walking Dead. It's Lucia. So, I also won't be surprised if the footage we see today and the footage that these homies got access to at Rockstar, I wouldn't be surprised if it really puts all of this to bed. And people are like, oh yeah, that homie didn't have the game. He had old slices that were for testing, or something to that effect. Which again doesn't give credence to the theory that it was a PC build. It's like, if it was a PC build, again, I think there would have been more evidence to that. I don't want GTA 6 on PC, as there'll be hackers destroying the game like they did on GTA 5. Oh, it's definitely coming to PC. I've said that they're going to try to bring it to PC faster. I think summer of next year. Now, we had a leak that was going to come in like February. I don't think that was true. I don't think that was true. I think that one ended up being made up and fake. It's like it was like a 4-month window or whatever. I was thinking maybe in the summer. If not, they'll wait an entire year and they'll just do it, holiday of next year. Y'all seriously believe a guy that's incapable of understanding Rockstar has no say, so in disc going away in the future, capable of getting a full version of GTA 6? That sentence doesn't make any sense. People had max levels the first month of online. Yeah, you have a build and have no Lucia footage. That's right. They bought 5M, the GTA role-playing service. Role-playing is going to be their new version of the MMO. Yeah, I think day one when they launch GTA 6 Online, yeah, I think the role-playing will probably be just built in from the ground up, for sure. Yeah. For those of you just tuning in, you will be able to watch the Netflix extended look with me. You do not have to watch it on Netflix. They did give us permission to live stream our reactions. I have to do it transformative. I'm going to have to pause and say stuff. I'm not going to talk over it and interrupt your experience, but I'm also not just going to sit here and let it play. That would be considered a restream, which we are not going to do. A leak of some small slices that got out of investor or similar private checks. Even stuff like ratings board reviews will strip and nudist camp content. The low-hanging fruit where lack of care causes opportunity for this to leak over, say, a full-on Rockstar compromise. Not saying this is the case, but what do you make of them saying GTA 6 will release in an unfinished and unpolished state? If it does release like that, what kind of reaction of damage would that do? My own personal take on him saying that is he waited an awfully long time to say that. I think he said that as his relevancy was waning. That's my personal take. He didn't say that in the first and second and third day. Why? Well, it would have hurt his own relevancy and his own click rate and probably his own ability to push his crypto. People aren't going to be all that excited to hear from a leaker like, the game's not ready, it's going to be bad, it's going to launch unfinished. He says that at the tail end of his relevancy, as his relevancy's waning and dying, he's trying to like take a shot at the game and act like, yeah, it's not ready, it's going to be bad when it comes out, it's going to be unfinished. I think today we'll put that to bed. I do. I think today we'll put that to bed. I think he was desperate. I think his relevancy was starting to slip, and he wanted one last push of like, oh, I got to get some headlines here. So they don't strike me as an honest and upstanding person, the way they were pushing their crypto and the way that they were acting like this was some self-righteous, like war they were waging or whatever. Do you think the fact that the GTA 6 Extended Look is running on a base PS5 shows how confident Rockstar are with the optimization of the console? Well, it probably just stands to reason that that's the largest consumer base that will be purchasing the game, so they're going to want to show the game to those people. That's where they're going to make most of their money, is from base PS5 owners. There's way more of them than there are PS5 Pro owners. There's way more of them than Xbox owners. So GTA Online uses peer-to-peer, not dedicated servers. Anti-cheat will be hard to do as always. Wait, is that true? GTA Online doesn't have dedicated servers? How's that even possible with the size of the city? So when you create an instance, are you hosting? Is that how that works? How would people be matching into your game then? I mean, I guess they're just randomly connecting to you? There's no dedicated servers for GTA Online? I've never heard that before. Do we actually get gameplay today? I don't think you would call it an extended look if they're not going to show gameplay. That would be a very weird description for something that's not gameplay. What time does it begin? I've got a countdown right next to me, and you can watch it with me. They have indicated that. We are allowed to live stream it. We just can't restream it and say nothing. I have to transform it a little bit. So I will be pausing it periodically to make it a not straight up restream or viewed as a straight up re-upload. Sorry if this is known, but does GTA 6 have an official release date or just a general idea? They've had an official release date for a long time now, November the 19th of this year, yeah. It was May 26th, and then it got delayed to November the 19th, and that date hasn't moved since. I hope it puts it to bed. This extended look, I think, needs to knock it out of the park, or chirping is going to get real bad till release. If they announce Red Dead Redemption 2 at 60 FPS at the end, that would be cool. I don't think they're going to say anything about Red Dead today. That would be very, I think, out of order from a marketing perspective. It happened to me. I forgot. I joined a whole new city. I was the only one, and then all of a sudden 30 to 40 people joined. Huh. Watching earned you a drop. There's Pokemon drops today. It says. I did not know that. All right. Is Rockstar going to pursue legal action against the guy yeah, against the guy that leaked everything? 100%, yes. Are there people going to the GTA 6 directory for this thing today? How are they? Doesn't look like it. It looks like most people are going to GTA 5. Let's see if people are actually going to the GTA 6 directory. Yeah, I don't know if we should go there or not. The lowest ping player in the lobby acts as the host. Oh, I did not know that. I just assumed a game of that size and scope had its own servers. Yeah, did not expect that. I went ahead and pre-ordered a couple weeks ago. If I don't like what I see today, I'll cancel it. Yeah, I don't necessarily think we're going to be getting specific discussion of GTA 6 gameplay today, whether or not it's like 60 FPS or 30 FPS. I don't know if they're going to speak directly to that. It'd be cool if they did, but I doubt that they do. I just don't know if that's going to be the focal point. Because I just don't know at launch if it's going to be locked in. I think it's going to be a difficult thing. Again, I think they're working on it, but I don't know if they say anything about it today. What time does it go live on Netflix? I have a countdown right next to me. And you can watch it with me. We have been given permission to live stream it. So, yes. Will we be able to tell if it's running at 60? We'll be able to tell, yes. You can watch videos right now of GTA 5 at 30 and then GTA 5 at 60, like it switches back and forth. You can definitely tell. I think it'll be obvious. I don't know if that's going to be the focal point today. A lot of times trailers and gameplay debut at 30 anyway. I don't know why they still do it, but they do. A lot of game trailers do that. Even games with performance modes, a lot of times their trailers run at 30. How many days till Frickman's Coffee release? It's available all the time now on the Reforge Roast coffee site. The game won't be innovative enough? Yeah, surely will not. Is this going to be a dev diary or like a long trailer? So we have it on pretty good authority from the actual Netflix app that it's going to be 26 minutes long. I would imagine at 26 minutes long, it's not just some trailer and just a bunch of gameplay. It's probably going to be broken into sections where they talk about each particular part of the game that they've innovated on. Kind of like what they did with the Dazed interview. If you guys missed my video about this yesterday, I uploaded a video about GTA 6, and basically there are extremely realistic situations and systems in the game. If we updated how views are counted, so recent counts may be higher. Keep this in mind when analyzing your performance. Oh, great. Thank you. So they basically are going to have a system where, like, if you don't sleep, if you don't take care of yourself and shower, you're going to look really disheveled and gross. You're going to get tired. There's going to be all sorts of things in the game like that. So, in general, I think it sounds really cool. I think some people are a little concerned because they're like, oh, is this going to be, like, so realistic that it ends up being annoying? I do think there are some people that are a little bit concerned about that. I'm not super concerned about that, but there definitely is a feeling of like, well, could this get annoying if I'm having to like babysit my guy's, health and weight? But it cuts both ways. Like if you lift weights, your character will visibly get stronger. There's all sorts of things that, are going to be baked into it to make it realistic. I think they're going to separate this as like a vid doc where they're going to be like, okay, let's talk about how these mechanics work. Let's talk about how combat works. Let's talk about the story. They're probably going to break it into all of those parts so that they can then talk about the systems that they've developed and they'll show you. So I think, like Strauss Zelnick said, there's going to be appetizer, main course, dessert. I think that was the appetizer. I think that interview kind of set the stage of these are the systems that we built into the game, the realistic systems, the hot swapping between the characters. What you do in the game will affect the story and the tension and the romance between the two main characters, as well as outcomes. So I think that's what they're going to do. I think they're going to kind of move through those systems and talk about them. If you guys are just tuning in, make sure you are hitting that like button. Hitting the like button does help me. I have been pausing, and I will pause during our own watch of it. I will pause the ads so that it doesn't interrupt us. If you appreciate that I'm doing that, you can show some appreciation by hitting like. You could even consider becoming a member. Milkcast, thanks so much for the sub over there on Twitch. Man, we're streaming to both places. I'm subbing you because you're the first creator to ever stream in the GTA 6 category on Twitch, and I absolutely love that for you. Well, thank you. That's awesome. Throw me, just throw me on that front page, baby. Thank you so much for the sub, though. I appreciate that. Jenny with a Prime on Twitch as well, getting us to 243, and Jenny's going to double dip, also doing a member on YouTube, 43 months and a member plus. That's a lot of months, Jenny. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that so much. Guys, now would be a great time. Now would be a great time to do a little train. If you are watching right now on Purple, you can watch the GTA 6 extended look with me, okay? We're allowed to stream it. They did say that. It has to be not just a restream, though. So to protect myself, I will pause it, make some comments, and then let it go. I don't want it to just be a straight-up restream replacement of the actual extended look as it debuts on Netflix. So thank you so much for joining us today. This is a bit of a GTA 6 extended look waiting room, and we do broadcast on both platforms. So thank you so much for the support today and all the engagement. I do a live show Monday through Friday where we talk about gaming news, and I do keep it safe for work. We know this game's not going to be safe for work, but my broadcasts typically are. Thank you, Stone Spire, for gifting a member on YouTube. Every 25, I gift one back, so we're now officially 5 away from the next milestone of 250. And Twitch, you have less stream delay, so you can always steal it with a 5 bomb. You guys have a habit of stealing it from YouTube. Rockstar said how the character's body will change when you eat and work out, so like kept like RPG light like San Andreas. Yeah, a lot of people pointed out, they're like, oh, this was actually from San Andreas, and people liked it in that, so people are thinking that they might like it here. So Rockstar said that the other thing they said in that interview is that it's going to change your actual like appearance. Like you'll literally look disheveled and tired, and you'll show the wear and tear of like the lack of sleep and that sort of thing. If you're wondering when the GTA 6 extended look is happening, I got a countdown right next to me, just under 2 hours. YouTube, we will do a new stream when we're about 30 minutes out from the extended look. That way it is a separate video on the channel. Twitch, you guys don't have to worry about any of that. We just kind of keep riding on Twitch. And so that's me in real life, disheveled and tired. Yes. As a 45-year-old dad, I'm pretty much tired all the time. That's my secret cap. I'm always tired. That's pretty much every dad in existence. And we are certainly excited to be a part of this event today. It's kind of a cultural event. And I think a lot of people who got really upset and angry that they did this, maybe they'll calm down a little bit now that everybody can basically, co-stream it and share in the event with their communities. You're going to have to play GTA 6 with the door locked. I wonder if they'll raise the bar for the weather effects. If you got CJ too fat, he could catch a heart attack and die. We watched a trailer for a game yesterday where they were basically like, yeah, if you kill people in the game, they're just not available anymore. That seemed like a pretty interesting concept. Thank you, Denial in Error, for renewing on Twitch. 22 months, getting us to 246. I greatly appreciate that. Thank you for the continued support. I just got to Thor Ragnarok on my Road to Doomsday rewatch. Nice. A lot of female artists are going to be part of the GTA 6 soundtrack. 6 extra hours isn't going to kill them. Yeah, people got pretty upset. People got pretty upset. They were like, oh, they're putting it behind a paywall. And it's like, you can't wait 6 hours? Gee, many Christmas. It doesn't seem that big of a deal. But listen, people like to get angry, People like to get angry. That's kind of the emotion of our time is anger. It's definitely the emotion of our time. So guys, check your renewals. Make sure you celebrate those. If you're supporting the channel, you want to get credit for that in the total. Check your renewals. Also, check the like button. That helps me out. We will be co-streaming this. We're allowed to. We have permission. So, the extended look, I got it right here, ready to go on Netflix. I'm ready to rock and roll. You can watch it with me in about an hour and 45 minutes. So thanks for being here. Thanks for hitting subscribe and all the things. One of the major questions about the game is obviously performance. Others are asking questions about the GTA Online, whether or not that'll be launching, when it comes to PC, things of that nature. There's a lot of questions that we may or may not get answers to today. Any chance we can watch Craven first? I saw that was leaving soon the other night, Hilly, and my wife and I were just looking for something to watch. We were just looking for something to watch. And I was like, maybe we should just watch that. I wanted something throwaway, just something throwaway. We ended up watching Enola Holmes 3 because we liked the first two. So those movies always just convince me that they need to do a Sherlock Holmes show with Henry Cavill, but he's probably too busy. I'm a Scorpio. Patience is my virtue unless it's with people. I have zero patience then. I hear you there. I'm ready to have my mind blown. Rockstar better deliver with this extended look. Trailer 2 feels like a lifetime ago. All the trailers feel like a lifetime ago, Christopher. My goodness, My goodness. 1 and 2 haven't seen 3. I enjoyed it. I thought 3 was good. It was a fun time. I'm not paying €20 for a month of Netflix. Well, you can watch it here with me. You can avoid the need to do that. And a $5 super chat tip from the OA says, what are you talking about? People like to get angry, Lono? Yes, they do. They enjoy it. It's for some people, I think it feels safe and cozy to be angry. Keeps them warm at night. How would that patience apply exactly? With people or with things? I actually do a decent job being patient with people, especially like kids. When you're a coach and a dad, you kind of have to be, right? I am not patient with technology. Like, if technology's not working, I see red almost instantly. I get super, super mad. So, Sherlock with Cumberbatch is good. Yes, seen that. Elementary was also very good with the guy from Trainspotting and Hackers. He's great. I thought that was excellent. What's the Ron Swanson quote? I'll just stay angry. I find that relaxes me. There you go. If it's a 2-minute trailer, people are going to be annoyed. The thing better be meaty. Pause. Yeah, that's a big pause. Yeah, it's about 26 minutes is what we've heard. Taylor Made with 51 months. Welcome back, my friend. For the love of. Thank you, sir. OMG, Lono, I'm the same. When my tech doesn't work, I get super angry. If my kid messes something up or does something or makes a mistake, I'm like, all right, come on. We've talked about this. Let's do it the right way or whatever. But when tech doesn't work, I'm like, I'm going to break you. I'm going to snap you in half, you stupid, phone, whatever. Son, people can see you. Yeah, the bowling one. Oh, man. You see red, you must pass out when that happens. Why? I mean, if that happens to you, that's not, you might be weak and fragile, but not a problem here. Got a dip. Have a good rest of the day. I'll try and check in later. It's back to school night for both kids. Well, thanks for being here, Ganks. Denial and Error says, been a long time since I've been here, but was wondering if you've heard from your appendix lately. No. Me and my appendix are not on speaking terms. I don't know where it is. I don't know what they do with, body parts at hospitals when they take them out. I'm assuming do they incinerate them? You know what I mean? I'm young. I don't see red. Sure, I bet. Don't make me angry. You won't like me when I'm angry. That's right. I watched your video, Lono. If eating, working, sleeping becomes a chore, I will not play this. Burn or use for research? Yeah, I assume they incinerate them. They might have used mine for research because it ruptured. Yeah, I don't want the realism of GTA 6 gameplay to become a nuisance. I kind of talked about that in the video. And, I wasn't trying to be negative. People thought I was trying to be negative. I was like, I'm not trying to be negative. So I thought we were being fair to it. So, there's a lot of elements of games like that could be good, or it could tip over and be extremely tedious. I think that's totally fair thing to observe. Grab some fries, a beer, and watch together with Lono. Sounds good. You're gonna have to drink one for me. I cannot partake today. We got to watch this and make content, and then I got a dinner to go to, so I'm not gonna be able to do any of that. Maybe I'll have some tonight. I'm stoked for this. I've been dodging spoilers like Neo with bullets in the Matrix. Well, thank you for the $5 super chat, Sledge Entertainment, and thank you guys for all the likes. Take a quick second and hit the like button. There's over 500 people here, and I've been consistently pausing the ads for you. So you could say thank you for me doing that, and I'll do that during the extended look as well. You can always say thank you by hitting the like button. That is greatly appreciated. It helps more people find the content. So we appreciate all of the people that are here every single day, and we do appreciate that commitment to consistently hitting the like button. And to support creators covering the Grand Theft Auto Extended Look, the GTA 6 game category will be enabled until 9 p.m. Remember to abide by all Rockstar Games and Netflix policies and requirements. Yeah, we were literally the first person to stream in the GTA 6 directory. Now there's a bunch of people in the directory, so we were standing alone there for a little bit. It was kind of nice. Will they tease a new GTA Online like they did with the GTA 5 gameplay showcase? I actually don't know. I really don't. I mean, they seemed to answer this question. I feel like they answered this recently where, like, they're really just focusing on the single-player game. So, journalists gave the extended look a 10 out of 10. Well, huh? So, are there people who have already seen it? I mean, I'm assuming maybe they let people see it so they could have content ready to go, like as soon as the embargo drops, which is in, like an hour and a half. So, Johnny Always with 61 months says, snipe incoming. We're sitting at 248. We've been teetering on goals. I'm sorry, on milestones lately, and they just don't land. We will see if you guys are able to go crazy. And Johnny Always does 2 singles to get to 250 on Twitch. Thank you for that continued support. We're over 1,000 members. We're trying to get to 1,250 sub points on Twitch. You can help us by using your Prime or gifting. And C Money is also going to drop 2 singles and get us to 252. Him and Johnny Always had the same idea. He says, I gave fair warning, YouTube. Well, with stream delay, it's not really a fair warning, but I appreciate your attempt. They didn't see it until it was way too late. Yo, Gray Speedy with 55 months of renewals. Member Plus on YouTube says hype. Thank you very much for doing that. I appreciate it. Currently sitting at 241 likes. You guys are absolutely not hitting the like button. You're not doing it. You guys got to do that. It's like our 3rd stream of the day. No, it's actually not our 3rd stream of the day. It's just our 2nd. You got to remember to do that, you lurkers. Take a quick second and hit that thumbs up. The 5-minute invincible cheat I hated. The invincible one you could turn on and off, not a timed one. Oh, I was not a part of any of that back in the day. We were deep in the weeds with other games and other content back then. So, what time is the event? I got a countdown right next to me. About an hour and a half from now, and you will be able to watch it here with me. You will be able to do that. They made that announcement today. And a member renewal from Daniel. Thank you so much. I heard that the car may need gas. That would make a lot of people very annoyed as well. Seems like a lot of things to keep track of to me. Well, I wonder if you're going to be able to turn that stuff off if you don't want it. Like, are they going to give you options to say, do you want the survival elements on? Do you want them off? Do you just want a lighthearted story playthrough? Like, I wonder if they're going to let you turn those elements off if you don't want to have to deal with it. Right? Do you not want to maintain the car and your weight and everything else? I don't know if they're going to let you turn that off or not. I mean, they certainly could. The only option that I want is 60. I don't know if they're going to speak to GTA 6 gameplay today being 60 FPS or not. So, Chances they add another 30-plus minute counter when we reach 0. Hopefully not. Hopefully Netflix is ready for the absolute firestorm of network activity coming their way. Got to pay a mortgage and car payment and insurance. Yeah, you got to go work a shift. Imagine if they went for like that level of realism. You're like, yeah, you got to go work your shift. You're out of money. And you're like, what? Like when the game starts, you're just standing behind a counter for 6 hours. Nice to see you covering this. Thank you so much. Everybody who's watching and supporting across all the platforms where we are currently streaming. What will be the benefit of turning on survival? Better loot, money? I don't know. Maybe more direct impact of the story. Like if you want it to be like a truly like emergent experience where like what you're doing is actually having an impact. And if you turn all those off, then you can't. You're just going to basically play through it. Wait, can you broadcast this? Yes, I can broadcast this. They officially announced that this morning. I can show you the extended look when it happens. I just have to make sure that it's transformative. I can't just sit here and restream it and say nothing. I will be then periodically pausing it to add commentary. They don't want people just straight up restreaming and re-uploading it, but they did specifically say when it hits, you can live stream it. And I'm like, all right. I think it was going to be a logistical nightmare to try to stop people. It was going to be everywhere. It was going to get re-uploaded and streamed on platforms like TikTok and the rest. So, imagine getting arrested because you ran out of gas. I think you need to maintain your weapons too, like in Red Dead. Yeah, we're probably going to hear all about it here in about an hour and a half. You know what I mean? You're going to cut and bruise easier if you don't get enough vitamin D. I'm surprised they allow that in any capacity. I thought the same thing. I was like, really? I was like, all right, well, we're going to stream it. Again, I also wonder, did YouTube chime in and say, listen, doing a content ID match for 6 hours and smacking down anybody that tries to upload this, it's just going to be a logistical nightmare. It's going to be bad for our platform. Our platform is going to get overwhelmed. Just let people do it. Usually when you do content ID matching, it's like, oh, hey, here's the content ID for this entire Marvel movie. So if you go to upload it, before you can even hit publish, it detects it and it doesn't let you, okay? Well, trying to do that just for a 6-hour window when there will be an absurd amount of attempts to upload probably is something that they didn't want to do. So, that would be my guess. Lono, would 30 FPS kill your hype? I mean, this is not one of my most anticipated games this year. There's other games I'm looking forward to. So I wouldn't say I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so hyped. I am extremely interested in what they bring to the open world from a game design perspective. I find the game to be very, very interesting. It could also impact other open world games and influence and sort of raise the tide, as it were. So I don't know if it would kill my hype, but it would certainly be like, it would be a bummer, especially if they're not even going to make an effort. I am still of the mind, my position, is that they're going to make an effort. It might not be there at launch, they might not speak to it, but I think they are working on a performance mode. It would be weird to not make even an effort. Especially after they added it to Red Dead 1, GTA 5, and we have it on very good authority that they have an update ready for Red Dead 2. So, yeah, Control Resonant is my most anticipated game, followed by Onimusha, Phantom Blade Zero, Wolverine. Those are all like way up on my list. Star Wars Galactic Racer continues to climb, and I'm not even a racing guy, but dadgummit, the game looks fun. It's just got such a vibe. Just so many games coming out. Arguably too many. The Witcher 3 Remastered honestly looks like I don't know how I'm even going to make time. I did roll credits on Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced last night. I was at 60%, so it kind of ended quickly. The final fight was a little annoying. Some of the climbing got a little funky. You had to like specifically jump to sections, and it would like awkwardly make him jump and miss, and you had to do the whole thing over again. It was a little clumsy. Other than that, I really enjoyed my entire time in AC Black Flag. 30 hours, a 30-hour playthrough. I had a really good time with it. Did you play the expanded demo for Onimusha? No, I haven't had a chance to. I've been too busy. I wanted to finish Black Flag last night so I could jump into Control Resonance. I'm sorry, Resonance Plague Tale Legacy. So, yeah. How long did it take total? Yeah, I hit 30 hours in AC Black Flag Resynced. I did not do a lot of side content. I knew if I started doing side content, I'd never finish the game. I was like, I'll never finish this game if I do the side content. So I just did the main story. Plague Tale today? No. Today's all GTA 6. We may do Plague Tale tomorrow after the show with Ginger. We may, because it's downloaded and ready to go, and I really want to play it. I'm hearing good things. How's it doing, Residence Plague Tale PlayStation? How's it doing with the users right now? Can users score it? It has a 4.97 on PlayStation. Let's check it on Steam. And it only has 9 user scores on Steam. And they're all thumbs ups. So that's encouraging. Covering Zero Company today or tomorrow? I cannot. All we have space for today is GTA 6. I mean, it was questionable if we should have even covered the Xbox stuff, but we had a great turnout and a great time, so I think I made the right call. But man, oh man, algorithmically covering anything else today is just not a wise choice. So tomorrow morning will probably be a GTA 6 live stream to discuss, breakdown, debate, blah, 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 like almost like a debrief. It's all anybody's going to want to talk about for the next 48 hours. Can you cover the other game? I'm not sure what you're referring to. Tomorrow after the Ginger show, I think I want to play Resonance Plague Tale for you guys. I do. So I think we'll do that. You guys are going to just get an absolute ocean of content for me this week. Lots of uploads, lots of shorts, lots of live streams, lots of Gamescom coverage. So if you guys appreciate it, and I do keep it as safe for work as possible, I obviously can't control this. We are able to live stream this in an hour and a half, okay? The Netflix GTA 6 extended look, we are allowed to stream this. So keep it here. Do me a favor and try to get us to 300 likes on YouTube. I'm not part of it. I know everyone will get rid of the blackout thing. Yeah, 109 hours on Black Flag, 31 hours for the art trophy. Last one I needed for platinum, random spawns, and the final one spawned for me 21 minutes ago. Well, congratulations. I did not do the side content, not because it wouldn't have been fun. I thought Black Flag Resynced was a fantastic remake. I knew I would have had fun going for the, going whaling or diving or, doing the assassin contracts. Like, Gee-many, it would have been so fun. But I knew if I did that, I never would have finished the game in time. There's too many games coming out. It's like I knew I wanted to be ready for Resonance Plague Tale. I was even considering trying out Star Wars Zero Company. And then in like a week, there's a bunch of other games coming out. It's like there's too many games. Not going to be able to play them all in order. Going to have to bump many of them to the backlog. So, yo, what's good, Furious Legacy Gaming? How are you? Very nice. I don't have Netflix. I'm at work, so I'll be able to watch. You will be able to watch GTA 6 Extended Look with me. Guys, double check that it's saving your likes. The like count went up by 3. There's a lot of people here. We're trying to get it to 300. I'm going to go ahead and give my own like to the stream to make sure that it's working. Double check that it's saving your like. Thank you so much, everybody who's doing that. If you're watching on Twitch, you can follow and sub, use your primes, all the things. We were the first person to stream in the GTA 6 category. We got congratulated by Twitch staff on that. They came in and gifted a member. Or I think he subbed with his Prime. What's my game of the year? So far, it's a tie between Saros and Pragmata. I loved both of those games. They were just fantastic. Resident Evil 9 is right up there with them, too. Yeah. 007 First Light as well. It's just such a good year. Lego Batman was so fun playing that with my wife. I mean, what a year, man. It's like there's so many enjoyable games. So many. Rockstar is in talks with Miami-Dade County to retheme Miami locations to Vice City or GTA 6 marketing. I just came in. Yes, I will be able to stream it. We have permission to live stream it. Another great gaming year. Yeah, it's just awesome. And we haven't even gotten to Onimusha, Control, Wolverine, Phantom Blade Zero, Star Wars Galactic Razor. Like, there's as many games still coming out that I've already completed. Like, it's just absolutely absurd. Absolutely absurd. GTA 6 got a real shot at Game of the Year just because the rest of the field is so filled up. Well, I think it's got a real shot, too, with the mechanics that we're hearing about. Like, there's a lot of things they're doing with GTA 6 gameplay that I think many people could see as significant, transformative, and evolutionary for an open-world, narrative-driven game. So, it's stacking up. It's stacking up to be a good game. Not just like, oh, it's going to win because it's GTA. Like, it's stacking up to have a chance at winning because they really, really have pushed to innovate. And I think that's going to go a long way with the gaming press. I think they like that kind of thing, especially if they pull it off. I don't necessarily think that there'll be people that'll take a ton of points off for performance. Like if it doesn't do 60, I don't necessarily think that is that's something that like the review outlets and the review circuit would take a ton of points off for. So next year, Code Veronica remake, I really, really want. Yeah, I think it looks good. Is there anything GTA you could show today that convinced you to play even at 30? Or are you waiting for PC in that case? I mean, I'll be honest with you. The systems that they're describing and the way that they're implementing those systems, the way that they're doing it, to me, I actually think it sounds like a game that I actually would really enjoy. There is a part of me that thinks like the switching between the protagonists or whatever, that could actually be really, really fun. That could be really fun for co-op, I was going to say. There's a lot of people weighing in on the Fable combat. People are being pretty critical of it, which I guess I'm in good company. I guess I'm in good company because I certainly was like, yeah, the combat looks better, but it still just looks very clunky. I want a fully remade OG RE like third person. If it wasn't for Expedition 33, I think Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 would have won. It's very possible. I also something called Fable in February, but less important. Yeah, there's a lot of people. Thomas Mahler from Moon Studios weighed in, and other animators are weighing in on the combat and why people are kind of recoiling. I've tried to explain for a while why I think that combat, has room for improvement. I've attempted to explain it, and I know a lot of the times people are like, well, you're just hating because it's Xbox. And it's like, I've said nothing, as far as I can remember, I've said nothing but positive things about Gears of War E-Day and how much I'm looking forward to it. But that Fable combat just continues to look like it needs work. Rest of the game looks awesome. That city looked great. The RPG stuff looked great. The NPCs looked great. The combat in Fable they got to keep working at it. They got to keep working at it. I gave them credit. It's looked better every time they've showed it. When they first showed it earlier this year at the Dev Direct, I was like, oof. I was like, that is clearly not ready. And they kept slicing it and cutting it in the edits. And I told people it was going to get delayed. This is the second time that I said Fable would be delayed, and I got told I was being a hater, and I was like, no, I'm not being a hater. This thing's not ready. Sure enough. Last year, we kept getting assurances it was coming. I was like, no, it's not. Got delayed. This year, after the Dev Direct, I said, this is getting delayed. You know? Fable looks like every other Microsoft sword fighting game out there, or Bethesda game. Very clanky and janky. Yo, it's good, Ginger. What price class of PC do we talk about? More context. I'm not sure what you're. I don't even know what you're actually referring to. What are you referring to? It's AA combat in a AAA game. Yeah, I think that's fair. Playground doesn't have experience in this genre. The Forza Tech engine's never been used in this genre. Yeah, it's probably not going to be super polished. It's getting there, but they got work to do. Do you think Intergalactic will be a PS6 game? No, PS6 is too far out. I think Intergalactic is a late launch next year. PS6 is probably not coming out until late 2028 at the earliest. And even then, it's going to be a cross-gen supported game. Check out Fate Keeper when you get a chance. I think I've looked at that one. I know that name. Is that the shooter? Or no, the first person melee one. First person action RPG. Yeah. Fate Keeper. Wait, has it been out for a while? It came out in June, so it came out middle of this year. It's got about an 80% on Steam. I don't know. Does it have a console release date? I don't know if it does or not. It's available on Steam only right now. It's got a decent score. I thought it looked pretty good anytime I saw it. It looked pretty dope. I don't like first-person melee games. There's a couple that are getting my attention. You know? Ginger says, I think this version of Fable has me excited, but it's not ready for sure. But they do have time, in my opinion. Overall, this is the most excited that I've been for Fable since Fable 2. Mr. Get That Ish says, do you think we need a new console? If we throw out all the financial aspects, do you not think that the PS5 could easily last another 4 years? This is something that I've echoed from Colin Moriarty when he said that the PS5 and the Pro as consoles, they're just too good. There's not a very strong level of angst from the user base to get off of the PS5. So playing games on my PS5 4 or 5 years from now doesn't sound terrible, because the performance I got in Saros and Pragmata and Resident Evil 9 and Yote, I'm like, I'm fine with this for a very long time. I don't need to go beyond this. Resolution, lighting, world detail, frames per second, all fantastic. Like AC Black Flag Resynced is another example. Like, just a wonderful experience. Looked good, felt good. I don't need to go leaps and bounds above this. And I think I'm in good company. I bet the vast majority of consumers are like, yeah, homie, I'm good with this. I don't need to upgrade anytime soon. Even if upgrading was reasonable. Let's say a miracle happened and they were like, oh, we're going to be able to release the PlayStation 6 at $500. I still think people would be like, yeah, I'm good. I think people would be like, I'm good. Because the issue would be, what am I upgrading for? If I've got this library and I've got these games and they all run fine, well, what am I upgrading for? That's a question you'd have to answer. And I think the next generation's going to have to market itself completely differently. Roadkill with a single gifted gets us to 255. We're a 20 bomb away. We're a 20 gifted bomb away from 275, where I would owe you guys another member. I don't think we've had a 20 bomb. Have we had a 20 bomb this week? I don't think we have. Might be the first. The only thing PS6 could offer is better graphics, in my opinion. The PS6 is going to be offering visual lift with respect to lighting, ray tracing, path tracing, better upscaling, perhaps better physicality in reactive worlds. Like, outside of that, it's just their goal is not a big power jump. That's not their goal. You know what I mean? I don't know. I feel like Mark Cerny made that very, very clear. I think he made that extremely clear in his interview that he did when he sat down and they did the Project Amethyst thing. I'm like, he's making it very clear. The PS6 is not going to be focused on being some massive power jump. That we're getting depreciating returns from power jumps anyway. Yeah, I saw the news about all the actors that have passed away. Everything you just said, Lono, is what I would like for my next generation system. That's perfectly fine. I think that's harder to sell as a generational uptick because when it's going to be close to $1,000, maybe more, we don't know. The calculus on all of this keeps shifting beneath everybody's feet. That's such a hard sell. A $900, let's say they somehow keep it at $800 or $900. That's still $800 or $900, like for visual lift. I think that's a hard sell to a lot of people. He asked you, where do you think you'll play GTA 6, but without the context, what price class of PC you would be on an office desktop or monster rig. I mean, I have a 5070 Ti rig I could play it on, but you know, I actually prefer to play in my living room. I don't like coming in here to play games. I'm happy to play games on the PC and hear what I'm streaming. But when it's time for me to game in the evenings, I don't like coming in here. I'm on my couch, you know, relaxing. The new Black Myth game could not run on a base PS5. There's no reason to think that. Black Myth runs better than it originally did, and it's a UE5 game. I didn't see anything in the Black Myth trailer that would make me think it wouldn't run on a base PS5. It feels like you're just trying to bait. That doesn't feel like a genuine opinion. The problem is that I believe the Pro will be discontinued, meaning the only way to get your larger storage performance in PSSR is to get the PS6. PS5 will feel dated soon. I don't agree with that either. I think that's completely out of step with the games that we've been getting. I don't think that the PS5 is going to feel dated at all because there won't be some alternative that's hitting well above its weight class. Like, look at ray tracing 60 FPS performance mode Wolverine and tell me that like that the PS5 is going to feel dated. I just don't think so. I think people are forgetting that the depreciating returns from hardware jumps are affecting everybody. So there's not going to be some game that comes out that like, oh, if you play this on PC though, like there's not going to be a leap. If there's no leap, then why would the PS5 feel dated? What would make it feel dated? Do you see my reasoning? It's like if there's no big leap coming because we're getting such small jumps anymore from hardware bumps, from power bumps, graphics cards are doing the same thing. They're having to leverage things like ray tracing, path tracing, and upscaling to justify their upgrades. If that's happening, what is exactly that's going to make the PS5 feel dated? What exactly is going to do that? What would be the catalyst? Where's the leap happening? Yeah, like path tracing on a PS6, path tracing on your high-end graphics card. That the average consumer is not going to look at that and be like, yeah, my PS5 feels dated now. I just don't think so. That feels so out of step with the games that we're getting. The games that we're getting and how they look like. Go look at Pragmata and Resident Evil 9. I just don't agree. I do not think. I absolutely do not think that there are going to be a bunch of consumers that feel that way. That's why Rockstar decided to team up with Microsoft and not Sony. What are you talking about? Where have they? What are you referring to? They teamed up with Microsoft how? Honestly, a new console doesn't make sense unless the developers can keep up and make games optimized for it. Why market something 4K 120 ray tracing if developers will have a tough time hitting that in a timely manner? I'm happy I got my PS5 Pro at $700 for sure. Yo, it's good, Trey Gaming. I just read that Asha said exclusives will be case-by-case basis. Yeah, it was obvious from her one interview when she talked about it that they weren't going to be doing an onslaught of exclusives because They need to make money. They just got done downsizing, selling, divesting, and laying people off because their games didn't sell enough copies. And you're going to turn around and do exclusives and continue to do day one Game Pass? The logic of the way people talk about that brand is upside down. Everybody hand waves and justifies studios getting divested, sold, or completely gutted because they're like, oh, well, their game didn't sell enough copies, but then they're cheering and hoping there's more exclusives. I'm like, I don't understand the logic there. You want them to shrink the reach of games after games that had their reach shrunk didn't sell well enough, and then the studios get, lambasted for it. It's just the logic of that. The logic of the most ardent fans over there is always so upside down to me. It never makes an ounce of sense. That's very true, says Hilly. The GPUs have been addressing this since the 1080 Ti 20 series. They shifted to ray tracing and then later upscaling, as after the 10 series, they could only increase performance by increasing power, which isn't really innovation. It's at the point now that they can't up the power as the performance will not jump. The new Black Myth is probably a PS6 game. I don't think it'll be a PlayStation 6 exclusive. I think that would be a huge mistake. Now, Black Myth obviously is going to make most of its sales on PC, same as Black Myth Wukong. But I don't necessarily think it would be a PS6 exclusive. It depends on when it comes out, obviously, because the PS6, as far as we can tell, has probably been pushed back. So, devs need stronger consoles. The new Black Myth will not run on a PS5. You repeated that multiple times, and your account's half a year old. Like I said, I could smell the bait on you, just in here baiting. 7-month-old content account with some of the weakest bait ever. You can smell it on them now. It's just obvious. It's like, yeah, you're baiting. Well, these people don't actually want Xbox to compete. They just want any win they can. Come into your chat and say, see, we're winning. I mean, I don't know what anybody's winning. I mean, I think gamers are winning. There's so many good games coming out. The first Black Myth wasn't exclusive, so unless Sony offers them a good deal to make it exclusive, it likely won't be. I don't think it'll be exclusive either. I think in general, their approach with Black Myth was they focused heavily on the PC. And because they focused so heavily on PC, it wasn't ready for console. And I think some of that is related to the fact that they upgraded to UE5 like mid dev cycle. Okay. So they upgrade to UE5 mid dev cycle. And I think that caused all kinds of problems. I also think it probably is one of the reasons they needed help. Like PlayStation basically leaned in and helped and said, okay, we'll help you bring it to console. This is what caused all of the, all the nonsense and claims about like a secret exclusivity deal, because they were helping them bring it to console. Because like the team obviously was having issues. It came to Xbox late. It launched with clear performance issues. The way they handled the frame gen and everything else was terrible. So let's do this. Hang on one second. I am scheduling our co-stream on YouTube. It will be a separate stream. Okay. And we'll do that at 2:30. We'll do that 30 minutes before the actual event takes place. That's not true. The Series S was poo. I feel like the PS4 was better than that. I'm not sure what you're saying is not true. Are you responding to somebody in chat specifically? Let's see here. Thank you guys for 300 likes on YouTube. I greatly appreciate it. It launched with terrible performance even on the PS5, so it's clear it was a game optimization issue. So I imagine designing for the Series S must have been a nightmare for them in that context. Yeah, I think switching to UE5 mid-dev cycle was a mistake, and then, clearly, the bottleneck of the Series S became an issue. I don't know why so many people pushed back on that so ardently. It was so obvious. It was so demonstrated by studios left and right. The pushback that always got, I found that to be very strange. It wasn't logical. It seemed very emotional. Are you going to make your Lucia stronger than Jason? I don't know. Do you want her to be a muscle mommy? Is that your fantasy? Still happening? Yeah, it is. Guys, if you're looking for the GTA 6 extended look, you can watch it here with me in about an hour. They did give us permission today to do that. So make sure you're subscribed to my channel. Make sure you're following. You can watch it right here. You don't need to go and pay for Netflix to do it. Is it confirmed that the showcase will be on the base PS5? That's what we heard, yes. If yes, then do you think they could be working on a PSSR 2 version and maybe that's the reason? I just don't know. There's no PSSR on the base PS5, so I assume they're working with Sony and Mark Cerny and PSSR for the Pro. Lono, is there a segment of the gaming community that has a sense of entitlement? No. I think they speak from a place of entitlement, and it's performative. I don't think they actually feel the sense of entitlement. I think it's fake. I mean, I pray that it's fake. I pray that a bunch of adult men aren't walking around talking and thinking this way, like emotionally immature children. I mean, I hope it's performative, because it's not performative. I fear for our future as a civilization. I pray it's performative. At least that's understandable. You know, that's driven by a positive feedback loop of an algorithmic platform where the more outraged you are, the more attention you get. If they genuinely are this entitled about things, it's like, good Lord. It's a little embarrassing, to be quite honest with you. It's a very, very, I don't know. I just feel like every day the theme of our time is like emotionally immature grown men, you know, whining about having to pay money for stuff. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's just very strange. I understand that inflation sucks, price increases suck, and the hardware situation sucks. I get that. But we've been dealing with this conversation for 11 years of my content creation history, constantly feeling like companies charging money for something is the devil. I don't get it at all. It's such a bizarre us versus them mentality that is so prominent. I don't get it. I just don't. I don't see it in any other hobby. You don't watch people talk about, you know, designer watches or fly fishing or anything else with this idea of like they don't think they should have to spend money for the things that they want to partake of in their hobby. It's very unique to gaming, and I don't know where it comes from. I mean, it could come from, you know, 20 plus years of the price of gaming largely staying static and lulling people into this sleepy state of thinking that like games should never go up in price. While, you know, everything else goes up in price, you know, movies, albums, all of it. So they aren't capitalists. They believe in different economic systems. I mean, I've seen some of that floating around where they're like, all this is happening, and they've got a boogeyman. And so it's capitalism. It's capitalism. It's capitalism's fault. Oh, okay. Can you elaborate on that? No, it's capitalism's fault. Okay, thank you. It's so thoughtful. Remember the outrage over Mass Effect 3's ending. I think some of it's performative and some of it's real. Yes, I do. Like, some of it's real. Like, I talked about this morning, Brap, with the whole ending of discs. And, like, Xbox doing disc to digital is a sign that they're going digital as well. They're basically saying, like, yeah, the discs are done. Okay, boys, like, take your discs and turn them into digital because that's the future. And I said that I think PlayStation should do something similar. Now, I'm not arguing from a place of entitlement. I'm arguing from a place of that's a goodwill gesture to some of your most ardent and loyal supporters. And I do think there's a business impetus. I do. Because your most ardent and loyal supporters suddenly turning their physical libraries into digital libraries makes them way more likely to stay with you. It makes them way more likely to stay with you. So I think there's a business impetus to providing people the ability to turn their discs into digital. Now, the problem is, I was told by somebody in the know, PlayStation games, the way their discs are made, they're designed to be played offline, which is a huge win that people spent years celebrating. Unfortunately, that means turning it into a digital license isn't a possibility. Do you catch the problem? It's like, well, you can straight up just play PlayStation discs. If the full game is there, play it offline. Well, what does that mean? That means converting it into a digital license. There's no unique identifier on that disc. So you could convert it into a digital license, hand it to your buddy, and let him do the same dadgum thing, and then nobody has to buy that game. Could they do a trade-in program, trading your disc to a store for a digital code? I just don't know. What would be the economic value and benefit of any company doing that? So, some type of an external disk drive to play those games on their PS6, some way of making the disk drives of the PS5 interface with the PS6 so they can continue to engage with their library. I don't know. What do you do right now with an old VHS collection? What do you do with it? It's probably just sitting there. And you're like, yeah, I don't really have a way of... I bought all these VHS tapes. I don't really have a way of engaging with them. Now, it is different because, PlayStation is a platform that sold people on the idea of discs, perpetual use of those discs, and the value of the disc going on in perpetuity. And now, all of a sudden, we're being told that that's not a thing. I just bought 5 different old physical games in the last week. Started my collection before physical ends. I want to have a collection of all my favorites before demand goes up. So there's no clean solution here. There's no clean solution because there's been years of celebrating the fact that you could buy a physical disc and play it offline. Well, guess what that means? You can't convert that into a digital license. People keep the hardware they purchased the physical media for and use that. Sure. And when it stops working, their library dies. Their library dies. Why is video game pricing more did you mean to say controversial than anything else? No one walks into a clothing store and says that the $200 jacket is that price because of greed. So, the digital-only future, the off-ramp for Xbox players is better. It's better. Now, we don't know if it's going to reach back into original Xbox games. We don't know if it's going to reach back into Xbox 360 games. We don't know. But their off-ramp is certainly better if you can at least take some of them with you. The PlayStation boys are basically like, well, this sucks. My physical library is dead the minute my drive stops working if I can't find another one. Like, if you're not buying, backup drives right now, then that's the future you're facing. Eventually, the disk drive stops working. Whether it's 20 years from now, 10 years from now, who knows? Then your physical collection is literally dead. You have no way of playing those games. Do they grade VHS tapes now and sell them for tons of money? I don't know. If you guys are wanting to watch the Netflix GTA 6 extended look, you can watch it with me. We are allowed to stream it. They officially announced that. We will switch gears on YouTube in about 30 minutes to a new stream, so it's a standalone video with my reaction. We've been covering Gamescom all week, and now we're covering this. Make sure you're hitting the like button. Make sure you're celebrating your memberships. Has this info always been out there? I've never heard of this for Sony. Well, the info is available right now that yes, most Sony games, if the full game is on the disc, you can play it offline and don't need internet. What that means is that there is no unique identifier of that disc to turn into a digital license. It's just a disc with a copy of the game that can be played offline. It was confirmed Xbox One and Series. Some, not all. Xbox One and Series games, some, not all. It's just like why you can't cloud stream every game. There's a legal barrier there. They have to go to every company and get them to agree to a game to be cloud streamable. They got to agree to a game to be digital licensable from the physical copy. They're not going to get every company to agree. Some companies might not even exist anymore. There will be discs that you cannot convert to digital. Oh, only those? So they're not even going to attempt to let you turn original Xbox and 360 games into digital licenses? They're not even going to make an effort? Oh, I thought this was just a first wave. Eventually they'd get to those. It's not going to touch original or 360? Like ever? Just take it to a repair shop? How many Blu-ray drive repair shops do you think there are going to be in 10 or 20 years, brother? Go and try and get somebody to repair your refrigerator right now. Try to get somebody to repair your television set. It's almost impossible because it's not a business anymore. It's cheaper just to buy another one. Excited Raccoon says Xbox introduced it for Xbox One because that was their plan back then, and the announcement is why Xbox suffered. So they've always had the digital encoding on the games since then, but not before then. Oh, they're going to run into the same problem. OG Xbox and 360 games, you can't turn them into a digital license because there's no unique identifier on the disc. That's a good point. That's a really good point. I didn't even consider that. It's because they started Unique ID on the Xbox One consoles. Thank you. That is a great insight. It's a better off-ramp, but it's still not a perfect off-ramp because you got discs that you can't do this to. They'll probably just add digital versions of original Xbox 360 games to pass over time, like they did with Conquer Live and Reloaded. Maybe. It's expensive to get TVs fixed. Yeah, try to get an old projection. Or, tube TV. Try to get it fixed. It's virtually impossible. Yeah, it's a total monkey's paw that a bunch of people chose PlayStation because the full game was on the disc and you could play it offline. And now, that's a total trap. All those discs can't be converted to digital games. I think this is just a scapegoat to soften the blow about going discless as well. I don't think you're using the right vocabulary. How is it a scapegoat? A scapegoat is something that you blame, like you blame this person for this big, huge problem, so nobody really looks at what happened. They're the scapegoat, right? I don't think disc to digital is a scapegoat. You could say a red herring. It's a distraction, but it's not a scapegoat. I don't think that's the right term. I think I get what you're saying. You're just not using the right word. Are you allowed to stream the GTA 6 reveal? I am allowed to stream the GTA 6 extended look. Yes, I'm allowed to. They made that clear. So, in about 20 minutes, we're going to shift gears on YouTube. I'll start a new stream. I will pause it periodically and make commentary. I can't just straight up restream it and sit here with you guys and go make faces. It has to be more transformative than that. I'm not going to take a risk of getting hit with a claim of oh, you just did a restream. People that just sit in the corner and don't say anything for the 26 minutes, they're going to be taking a very big risk. Netflix could come after them and say, you didn't react. You just sat there and restreamed it. I would just put I'm allowed to stream in the title. No, it's all right. I don't mind saying it because every time a lurker comes in and doesn't ask, they're sitting there hearing me say it. They might not read it. There isn't many TV repair shops for non-custom TVs because these companies don't make spare TV screens because most of the cost is in the screen component. It's cheaper to buy a new one than repair. Lots of things have gone that way. We have a refrigerator in our basement going bad, and it's probably just going to be cheaper just to replace it. I'm not looking forward to that, but it's going to be cheaper just to replace it than to pay somebody to come in and try and repair it. Just keep shouting that every 20 seconds. That's right. We will be co-streaming the GTA 6 extended look. You don't have to watch it on Netflix, especially if you don't have Netflix. Xbox is utilizing the tools available, and it's pretty clever that they're taking advantage of a blunder years ago and turning it into a positive. I actually agree that they are turning that into a positive, for sure, because we're all headed to the same digital-only future, and they get to look a little bit better in the grand scheme of things. Like, they get to look a little bit better. And I think that certainly is a win that they needed. They haven't had a lot of wins. Charles Hawk bumps the line by 136 months is a lot of months. We couldn't even find someone to fix our toilet. Everyone we called said it's cheaper to buy a new one. That's true. It is. But Lono, are we still allowed to watch it? No, I'm going to co-stream it and say all of my thoughts and react. You have to look away from the screen. Now, it's an honor system. So you guys have to say right now that you're going to look away when I co-stream it. You're not allowed to watch, okay? When 6 o'clock hits, you can look back at the screen. So we'll know if you watched it or not, and you'll be in big trouble if you guys actually look at the screen. So it's an honor system. Once you have a digital license, you likely won't need the console or the disc to play it anymore. So long as someone else doesn't get the disc, for sure. Here in the Outback, we're witnessing the very rare Xbox win. Yes, it's very rare. Yeah, if you're just tuning in, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We are going to be co-streaming the Netflix GTA 6 extended look in 50 minutes. You can watch it here with me. You do not have to watch it on Netflix. You do have a face for radio. Thank you. I will put my monitor in sleep mode. I appreciate your honesty. I promise. That's right. Everybody promise. If I look, will my face melt like Raiders of the Lost Ark? What I love about that joke is, as I got to face melt, I knew you were going to make an Indiana Jones joke. And I was like, I'm going to read this because this is good. We're here with you. Thank you. Pretty stoked about Rockstar doing this because I don't have Netflix and was planning on getting it. Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. I probably should have made a more formal announcement in the Discord, but I felt like you guys were all pretty much clued into what was going on. I was out at church and talking with friends and came back, and you guys had mentioned me and tagged me multiple times in the Discord, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, I can stream this tomorrow. Didn't they say the disc could only be given to someone in your friends list? I don't know. Indiana Jones spoiler warning, outrage. Yeah, sorry about that. If you sell the license, your disc is useless. I think you said that backwards. If you sell the disc, your license is useless. I think you flipped your words around. I can't see how Sony doesn't have an external or detachable disc drive to work with the PS6. I remember it actually made an external plug. All right, let's do a thought experiment, Silu. Why would you think they wouldn't want a disc drive available for the PS6? Just think about it for a half a second. They don't want anybody falsely thinking that there'll be physical games for the PS6. So there's a real optics danger there in having a disc drive for the PlayStation 6. If they have something, it would need to be external, and they would literally need to call it a backwards compatible disc drive intended to be used for PS4 and PS5 games. It would have to be crystal clear in the branding and the naming of it that, like, this is not setting the expectation that there will be PS6 discs. Do you see the issue? Like, I get where you're coming from, but they got to be very careful. Also, according to Jess Corden, the entire infrastructure to build the drives is collapsing because people aren't buying them. People don't need them or want them anymore. So, all the anger and all the outrage, PlayStation was just like, oh, I'm not a monster. I'm just ahead of the curve. Like, they were just ahead of the curve. They knew what was coming. The entire industry around it is collapsing because demand has cratered. So, you know, being like, how dare they? The whole like, no disc, no buy, no disc, no buy. Well, enjoy not buying. Enjoy not buying. The industry around it is collapsing. The demand has absolutely cratered, and sadly, there's nothing you can do about it. Nothing you can do about it, boys. And I know that stinks. Nobody's sitting here gleefully celebrating that and throwing confetti in the air. It's where we are. It's what has happened. It's an emergent property. It emerged from the market and consumer behavior. It just did. It was like, in an instant, Blockbuster did not have the foot traffic and the revenue to survive. You know? Xbox screwed up on the disc to digital? Wait, I don't understand. How is it a screw up? Why are you viewing that as a screw up? That doesn't make sense to me. Maybe they could purchase the PS5 detachable disc drives for the PS6. They could make those compatible. That is correct. They could potentially make them compatible. Hoping this reveal will take my mind off the Peter Cullen news. Yeah, sad when we lose celebrities so close together. Did you play or beat Silent Hill F? No, I don't like those games. They're not my vibe. Slow survival horror, just not my vibe. I think that's why they announced the digital only so early. Once they announced the PS6, I could see them mentioning a disc drive. So you're thinking they've already gone through the pain and the trouble of telling people digital only, and you still think they'd come out with a disc drive for it. Here's the problem with your prediction, Silu. If the entire edifice of making the drives is collapsing, I mean this with love, who the frick's going to make them? Who's going to make them? Who's going to make the drives? That industry is collapsing. A $20 super chat from the OA. It's weird that people are demanding a company to make a product that hurts their bottom line and they don't want to anymore. Imagine making mandatory ebook writer print books out of his own pocket just because. That's right. It won't brick a system. It'll brick a digital game on said system. Yeah, if somebody takes the disc and inserts it somewhere else. Correct. The individual marker would trigger hey, you can't play this game. Somebody else has this now. Your license has been revoked and transferred. Which is interesting. That means you could create digital versions of games that could be traded or sold. Doesn't it? Doesn't that mean that? What if you could go buy a digital version of a game and it literally said, if you buy the resellable version or the tradable version, you got to do a check-in every so often to play the game. You would know buying it. You'd be like, okay, I could sell this and trade this to somebody else later if I want. But that means I have to check in online every time I want to play the game. There would be a trade-off so that you couldn't game the system. How so? Think about it, Jakob. Let's say I turn an Xbox game into a digital license. And I'm playing it, and I give you the disc. All right? And you put the disc in and you do it. Well, the internet would say, hey, wait a minute. This license is now in two places. One would get revoked and the other person would have it. That's the license being transferred, brother. Isn't it? That's the license being transferred. The internet detects it and says, hey, this license can't be in two places at once. So, guy A loses his license because guy B now has the disc. That proves that a digital license can be transferred. You would just have to have the person agree to it at the point of purchase. I'm going to purchase this digital game. And they would say, do you want an offline version or do you want one that can be traded and sold? Because the offline version would mean if the internet goes down, I can play this. If you want the version that's tradable, well, you're going to need to be online to play. They got to verify your license every time. Because if not, you could transfer the license and then just turn your PlayStation into offline mode and continue playing the game. You could game the system. Does that make sense? Seems like a stretch. Why is that a stretch? Explain to me what part of that is a stretch. What do you do if a new console, though? Why would the new console mean your SOL? You would log in with your account and the license is attached to your account. PlayStation have been having constant sales and promoting it ever since they announced they were going digital. Why would games be cheaper? Yeah, I don't think the sellable, tradable game would be cheaper. It would just warn you and tell you that this thing needs to check online every time you want to play it because it's a transferable game. Therefore, we can't let you play offline if it's transferable because you could game the system. You could install the game on the console, unplug it from the PlayStation, and then boot up another PlayStation and then sell it to somebody, sell the license, trade the license, and you'd still have a playable version over here. I don't see Sony, the reason behind Sony doing this, it wouldn't benefit them. You don't think? Think of how it could benefit them. What do you think they would do if they created a marketplace where you could sell digital games? What do you think they would do? They'd scrape every sale. They would then control an aftermarket, a digital aftermarket, where they could scrape every sale. Now, they might argue, oh, but that's encouraging people to buy games used and we get less of a cut. Well, not really. You do sales all the time and you're getting less of a cut on that sale. It's not that much different than me selling a game to you for $50 and then they take a cut. $20 super chat from the OA. Also, we like to target big companies without thinking about the little guy. Are we going to demand that Stardew Valley guys sell his games on a disc? What about games on mobile? Or does this demand only apply to companies we don't like? It only applies to companies that they don't like. They will never allow the transfer of a digital game, in my opinion. They already do. I think you're missing the forest for the trees here. Xbox's disc to digital program literally allows for the transfer of a digital license, because if you turn it disc to digital and then you give the disc to your buddy and then he does disc to digital, you just did it. Now, unless it tells him, no, you can't, somebody already owns this, then my entire idea is kaput. But my sort of surface level understanding here is I can convert the disc to digital. I'm totally fine. 6 months later, I should be able to give the disc to you and say, here, you can have this. Give me $20. And then you go convert it to digital. Now it's yours. Thanks for doing this, man. I'm at work watching. Thank you. It starts with the disc. You need the disc. Yeah, but the disc has a digital license on it, Jakob. You're missing that part. Xbox started with the Xbox One and the Series X assigning a unique digital verifiable license on every disc. That's why PlayStation started pushing the idea that, like, you don't need to be online to play the game off of your disc. That's what distinguishes the Xbox console, disc that can do this disc to digital. So the disc is literally just a physical version of the digital license anyway. You're just converting it. No, I will be able to stream it. They've officially made that clear and announced we can stream the GTA 6 extended look. I don't care, you need the disc. It revolves around the disc. So you don't care about facts, then what's the point of having the conversation? If facts won't inform your opinion, then this is pointless. These discs are unique. It's why you won't be able to do disc to digital with 360 games or original Xbox games. So you can ignore basic facts. I mean, then that means the conversation's pointless. It revolves around the disc. Yes, unique Xbox discs that are literally licensed. It's a unique license. What I'm saying is factual? No, it's not. You're ignoring facts. Come on. No, you're ignoring the facts that I just laid out. The Series X and Xbox One discs are unique. It's not the same as the 360 and the original Xbox. You're ignoring that. That's a fact that has to weigh in the conversation. What it means is it proves, and again, if I'm correct, if you can hand the disc to your buddy and now he can turn it into a digital game and your digital license gets revoked, you just transferred the license to somebody else. You just did it. The disc only matters if you give it to somebody else. Once you get the digital entitlement, you no longer need the disc. You can break it. The game will be tied to your account and accessible everywhere. But what I'm entertaining, Solemn, is the idea that if you give the disc to somebody else, they go disc to digital, does that then revoke your license and now they have it? Or is that disc dead? Is it dead? Can it no longer be used ever? It revolves around the unique ID on the disc, which is literally what the digital license is. That's literally what a digital license is. It's a unique ID that allows you to play the game. If they let us do this with our digital licenses, that would be great too. What I'm saying is it proves you could do it. It proves that you could do it. You could transfer digital licenses. I bet it will revoke. Okay. So track with me here. This isn't that complicated. If the disc has a unique ID that once converted to digital by another person revokes that ID from your account, you could do the same thing with a unique ID that's a digital purchase. You could totally do it. It would have to be a game that requires an online check. You would buy a digital version of the game that would be a transferable digital game, and you would agree. This game requires an online check. Why? Because if you go to transfer and sell that ID to somebody else, they would have to revoke it from you. So, if it revokes and it goes with the disc, the principle applies here. A unique ID the same exact thing could be done with a digital purchase of a game. It proves that it's possible. It does. I've used the same line of reasoning on digital refunds. If you can revoke the license, then I can give it back. That means I should be able to refund digital goods. Now, the problem there again with refunding digital goods is you could download the entire game on an offline PlayStation, unplug it from the internet, and then say, hey, I'd like a refund, and you'd be able to play the whole game. And they'd have no idea that you're doing it. So this would have to be a unique version. The digital version of the game would have to be different. You'd be agreeing to new terms of service. You'd be saying, well, this is transferable, but then I have to do an online check to play it so that I can't game the system. That could create a literal digital aftermarket where PlayStation could allow you to sell a game to your buddy for $50. They scrape the purchase. Your digital license after the transaction is revoked. You can no longer play the game, just like handing them the disc. It's the same principle. It's the same idea. So, I think that the Xbox disc to digital could have ripple effects and ramifications in the entire argument about digital ownership, right to refund, right to resell. It's creating a test case scenario, and it's saying, hey, you could allow users to sell their own digital games. You'd have to rewrite the terms of service, and they're downloading a transferable digital license that then requires an online check, so they can't game the system, but then the consumer's empowered to sell their digital games to people. That would be wonderful. As I understand it, on PlayStation, the digital license is not unique right now. They simply see if you, yes or no, have the game access. They would have to track the unique ID and create that system. Yeah, maybe. Unless it's just it's just an authentication check. You would just agree. I'm agreeing to an authentication check every time I play this game, which means if the internet goes down, you can't play it. I'm all for it. Could you imagine the game market being peer-to-peer? How amazing. It would be amazing. It'd be very empowering for the consumer. It would also open up the door for refunds. If I buy this game and I agree to the online check so that I know I can refund it within 2 hours, because then I can't game the system. I know I'm buying a licensed version of the game that requires an online check, but I'm willing to do that because it means I can refund it if it sucks. If I get an hour and a half in, I'm like, this is buggy, this is garbage, give me my money back. No harm, no foul. They revoke my license and they give me my money back. I'm even okay with them putting it into store credit because I don't expect them to shoulder the credit card fees because some garbage game comes out. I don't expect them to shoulder that fee. That's ridiculous. That's on the game developer. They're the ones that loses the sale. PlayStation shouldn't be left holding the transaction fee. You just give me my store credit. If I spend $70 on a game and an hour and a half in, I'm like, this is a dadgum disaster. Give me my money back. Throw it in my wallet. I can use it on the next game I go to buy. The video game industry has never liked the secondhand market because they don't make any money on it. This would allow them to make money on it. This would allow them to make money on it. And think about it. That license could pass through 10 people and PlayStation could scrape it every single time. So then, instead of making money off the game once, they're making money off the game multiple times. Now their pushback might be, but all those people are spending less money. They could have bought the game at full price. Maybe it empowers the consumer to feel like I'm going to spend more money because I'm able to go out here and kind of bargain shop, and then you're just scraping all those bargain shoppers instead of those people just sitting out and waiting and only buying like one game every 4 months. They might buy more games. Which raises the customer lifetime value, something PlayStation's heavily focused on. So, we need to switch streams, though. We're 30 minutes away. Give me a quick second. I'm going to change the thumbnail on this one so that it doesn't show live. Save image. Save. Override. Change. Save. I'm going to make sure it's the featured video on the channel as well. Give me just a second. Okay. Man, YouTube is having a problem today. The back end just doesn't load certain things right now. They must be getting a ton more traffic than they're accustomed to. It gives you one revocable license per disc. Wait, does that mean that you wouldn't necessarily be able to give the disc to somebody else and then they'd be able to use it? All right, there's a link in chat, YouTube. We got to go to a new stream. All right. Hang on a second. I might be able to do... There we go. Okay. If you're watching this later, this will be my reaction to the GTA 6 extended look. A huge thanks to Rockstar and Netflix to agreeing to let people actually live stream and react to this. It probably would have been a logistical nightmare to stop people from uploading and doing it anyway. I will be pausing and giving my thoughts. I don't want this to be a straight up restream or re-upload and serving as just a straight up replacement for what we know Netflix probably paid a pretty good chunk of change for. Okay, so we're going to do that, though. We're going to sit here, we're going to react, I'm going to give my thoughts. I'm going to end the previous stream, and I'm going to bring people over with Redirect. We were doing sort of a countdown, sort of a waiting room, just chilling and talking and vibing. If you're watching this later, do me a quick favor.